Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Uncertainty, self-doubt, stressing about not knowing where to start. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Word art. Sorry, live, laugh, lovers. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
This week, in Colby, Wisconsin, a situation escalates to a gruesome plan and horrific murder that can only be called shocking, especially when it's discovered that two things were taken from the victim, two things that no man exactly wants to live without. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again and again. We really appreciate it because it's been insane lately. We have
fun.
Been on a wild, fun roller, and today, oh my God, this is like... This is part of the roller coaster where like water dumps on you after you do a loop. It's that fun. This is a crazy ass case today.
Refreshing.
As you can tell by the intro, it's intriguing to say the least. We'll just say that. But first of all, thank you guys for everything this week, for your reviews on Apple Podcasts. First of all, they go a long way. We have no idea why, but that's not up to us. So if you haven't done it yet, please give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Say anything you want.
Yeah.
I don't care. Tell me what your favorite tire tread is. That's I don't know what that is for me. So look it up and do that if you want.
One that channels water away,
or just say I like this show. That's fine. But thank you for doing that. If you haven't, they really do count for some reason. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports, of course, as well. And if you haven't listened to Crime and Sports, especially recently, give it a shot. I'm telling you, we have been having some insane cases over there. Wild stuff. Kellen Winslow Jr. was one of the worst people ever. If you want to hear how a serial killer starts, that's the story. Right up, they stopped him right before he started murdering people, we feel like.
Thank
so
goodness.
Check on that this week. Listen to all of that. And also get your tickets to the virtual live show, October the 29th. It's on, everybody. The all-violent felon edition of the Prisoner Dating Game will be seen. Oh, my God, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Jimmy's not going to be able to see the people before he picks them. You will be able to see them at home, but he will not. We'll tell Jimmy all about these people. I'm going to line up 4 bachelors and 4 bachelorettes, and Jimmy is going to pick one of each.
Terrific.
And that's going to be insane because he's not going to know who it is. And then afterwards, once he picks them, then we'll say, here's the people you picked, and then we'll tell them exactly what they did to earn their position in prison. So that's going to be quite fun and good times there. Join into that.
They really missed the boat on that show. They should have done it that way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So shutupandgivememurder.com is where you can get those tickets for that October 29th. Get your pre-Halloween stuff there and all of that. Now, Patreon, you want to be a producer of the show. You're going to get stuff for that. Jimmy's going to mispronounce your name at the end of the show. That's going to happen. You're going to get tons of bonus stuff as well. This last week, we did murder houses for sale, which was really cool, like crazy murder houses and famous ones, not so famous ones. We talked all about that. I have one lined up for the next episode where 3 ladies are trying to resurrect Jack the Ripper in like 2000.
Oh, no.
It's one of the craziest stories you're ever going to hear. So that's our next bonus episode for that.
God Christ.
Tune into that. It's going to be crazy.
How lonely are you?
It's insane. It's wild. So that said, let's get to the disclaimer. This is a comedy podcast. It's a comedy show. This is about murder. So you might go, comedy show about murder? Yes, comedy show about murder. Yeah. It's actually the better way to go about it.
We think.
I think it's a little too dark to hear someone solemnly say, and then her head was removed from her shoulder. That's a little depressing for me. I'd rather hear some light shit around the murder and then still respect the murder. Yeah. But, let's play around a little bit in the seams. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to have a good time. Try not to get too dark with it, although there's some gross stuff that there's no way it's not going to be dark. So that's how that works. If you think, true crime and comedy don't go together, maybe you shouldn't listen. That's all. But tell you one thing we do. We go out of our way and try our best not to make fun of the victim or the victim's family.
Yeah, what is that?
Because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
All right.
That's how that works. Yep. So everybody on board for that? I think it's time to sit back, clear the lungs out, and shout, "Shut up
and give me murder!"
Let's do this, Jimmy.
Great.
Go on a trip. Let's go to the Midwest again. Okay. Back there, we are going to Colby, Wisconsin. Oh, baby. And it's exactly what you think it is. You're going to go, is that where the cheese? Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Hacky fucks.
Absolutely.
It wasn't hacky when they did it.
Yeah. It's named after a railroad guy, so the cheese is named after a railroad
is
man.
Is that true?
Yeah, inadvertently. We'll get to it.
Oh, boy.
It's in central Wisconsin, like kind of dead. If there was a bullseye, this is the 100 points right here. If you hit Colby, Wisconsin, about 3.5 hours to Milwaukee, about 2.5 hours over to Minneapolis, 3 hours to Jefferson, Wisconsin, which is episode 157, which we did in February, early February, which might as well have been 100 years ago. Because let's be honest, from February to October of this year has been it's like dog years.
Right.
It's been at least 14 years, I feel like. So
there was a man singing about blowing his boyfriend at a funeral at that time.
It's wild. So
and you don't even remember it.
Don't remember anything. So this is when we were on the road still. So to put it that way.
Right.
So it's in 2 different counties. It's in Clark and Marathon counties. Area code 715. It's a small town, about 1.65 square miles. So a tiny little town Colby is. And they have, of course, mottos here. And this is pretty funny, honestly. This is a long motto, the first one, and I'm not making this up at all.
Okay.
First, it is, quote, a growing community proud of its heritage.
Yeah, it is.
It's not really a motto.
Right.
And your heritage is cheese. Right. So that's all your heritage is.
That's why they're growing.
And a growing community. We have the same amount of people, but way less space.
We're just expanding.
Just a lot of cheese. And, quote, home of Colby cheese, which we figured already.
And that's the worst cheese.
It's pretty lame. I like a sharp cheddar, personally.
Right.
That's my my favorite
I want some
cheese.
flavor in it.
Yeah, I like extra sharp cheddar is nice. So I've combined these two into something realistic that still emphasizes what they're proud of.
Okay.
So that, because those two, they're disparate. Let's put them together. Colby, proud of our heritage of the finest cheese farts on earth. And I think it satisfies everybody, right? I think
that's all that shit's good for.
It's realistic. Yeah, just gas.
Just making yourself stink.
That's all. So when the Wisconsin Central Railroad was building the line through the woods over here, they were going to Lake Superior or toward there. It finished this 1872 construction season. The construction season. I like that. Yeah.
Did it culminate in a Super Bowl of sorts?
One guy led in nails driven. Yeah. He was amazing. You should have seen him. He was like a machine.
Yeah.
He lays the MVP. He led the league.
Did it against his will, but you know.
I mean,
it was either that or death.
Yeah. They dragged him here from China, but that doesn't matter. So, yeah, they finished that with the rails completed right at Colby. So that's where it kind of ended there. So the place, Colby's first name was... You got a guess? Maybe?
Jackstown.
Section 53. It's very charming. That's charming, isn't it?
Get the fuck out of here.
Section 53. It's very charming. You think about that's romantic. You go set up a B&B. Take, people
really
are going to come there. Yeah. Honey, we're going to go to Section 53 this weekend where all the romance. It sounds like they're doing nuclear testing there. It's like a fucking... just barren.
I think that's what we used to call New Mexico, too.
It's just barren and irradiated is what it sounds like New Mexico.
Right.
And instead, Section 53. It's the weirdest shit ever.
Oh, Wisconsin.
But they renamed the station in honor of a partner in the construction company that was building the railroad.
Okay.
And his name was Charles L. Colby. So old Chuck Colby here, he was the son of the railroad's financier, Gardner L. Colby.
Okay.
So basically, that's how it became Colby, and then this guy became known as the cheese person, even though he had nothing to do with cheese, just railroads.
It just happens to be a rich dipshit son.
That's all it is, a rich dipshit son, and now he's the
he's
what you think of. This is Johnny Cheese right here.
Lord.
So yes, it's the birthplace of Colby cheese. A historical marker in downtown Colby commemorates the development of Colby cheese.
Really?
By Joseph Steinwand in 1874. Now let's talk about how this cheese happened quickly. We're not going to talk much about the cheese. Ambrose Steinwand passed his cheese-making art to his son Joseph F. Steinwand, who perfected a washed curd process, which allowed Colby's characteristically mild, pleasant flavor, is what they say. His process replaces whey with water and reduces acidity. It takes slightly more than a gallon of milk to produce a pound of Colby.
Slightly more. That's why it tastes so fucking gross.
Yeah,
it's all milky.
It's all milky and gross.
There's
no
it seems
flavor.
Like a lot
There's
of
nothing.
To make how much?
And to cut the acidity. You want acidity, otherwise it's too mild and blah.
A gallon makes how much?
A pound.
That's a gallon weighs less than that. That's a fucking or weighs
slightly
more than that. That's a lot.
I mean, that seems to be they're trying to tell you that's a shitload of milk. Apparently,
it's too much milk.
So and it's just too much. It's too much boat.
It's a lot of milk,
and that was in Wisconsin. Just too much milk.
It was.
There you go. So at his
and they call it a Colby cheese because a Steinwand nobody's eating.
No one's eating the old Steinwand.
Yeah.
It was from Colby.
Right.
So at the cheese factory, which Joseph Steinwand developed a new and unique type of cheese, and this was this. Shit here. The taste became known in the neighboring areas, and in 1898, an 1898 issue of the Colby Phonograph noted that which is a newspaper, a merchant in Phillips gives as one of 13 reasons why people should trade with him that he sells the genuine Steinwand Colby cheese.
Got it.
So that's a big deal. Now, after World War II, the 40s and early 1950s, they had the cheese murders. Have you heard of the cheese murders?
No.
I did not know the cheese murders was a thing.
Happens every day.
Yeah, it's people are just murdering the bowl, usually, though. That's what it is. A cheese murdered this morning, man. Oof, it was a rough one.
I just ate about, a quarter pound of mozzarella and a quarter pound of cheddar.
You told me
before coming over here.
When you got here, I'm like, that's the most appropriate thing. You have no idea how appropriate that is. You didn't know why. And then I'm like, Colby, Wisconsin. I see him go, oh, that's what it is.
I'm going to cheese murder when I get home.
So this was basically like a 90s East Coast, West Coast rap war between cheesemakers, where cheesemakers and workers for cheese became scarce, like factions, good cheesemakers. So they were fucking
cherry picking the best ones.
Well, they were bidding against each other and stealing each other's cheesemakers to the point where it escalated to murder, to where the different factory owners were putting hits out on other factory owners of cheese factories.
That's the most Wisconsin thing I've ever heard.
Seriously. Want to get it more Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Do you know how they made sure to tell people that it was over cheese?
I don't know, that Brett Favre hired on Cameo
with a cheese head on, going, "Hey brother, we gonna kill you over cheese, pal. You know that? Hold on a sec. Let me show you my penis, because I think you're going to want to see it now. Let me get my Wrangler jeans open. I'm going to show you my penis. I show it to most people.
Right.
I just used to send it to people, but I could get it out to more people in this medium. I like it.
Did he write the winner of the cheese on his penis?
They covered them in cheese. They put cheese over the bodies. Shredded cheese on top of them.
Oh, that's how they...
Like the Dave Chappelle joke, sprinkle crack on them. It's like that sort of thing.
That's unbelievable.
And eventually the cheese, that's how they solved it. The cheese was traced back...
Idiots.
To the factories of the people who left the cheese behind and the murderers. So they figured out the cheeses were different. I don't know if they got one kid who's really discerning in cheese, and he's like... that's from the Jackson factory. I don't like that. That's the mild. I like that. Now, of course, none of this is true.
No,
of course not. The rest of it was up until the cheese murders, because this town is fucking boring, and I couldn't find any history.
There's no cheese murders?
No, of course not. No cheese murders. I just wanted to spice it up a bit. Throw a little Jack in that Colby. You know what I'm saying? Throw a little Jack in that Colby, babe. Spice it up. It's all cheese all the time. I look for anything in this town that has something sort of historical significance.
Poor Brett Favre's reputation came into it and everything.
That's bad. He's besmirched like crazy. We besmirched him up and down. Doesn't matter.
That's my favorite.
It's literally it was like they found cheese and then everybody just shut the fuck up and made cheese and nobody had any issues. It was so boring.
Just happy.
Yeah, they're just happy eating cheese. But now...
The cheese murder.
I'm sorry.
Unbelievable.
It sounded believable.
People stopped and went and searched Apple iTunes for fucking. There's got to be a podcast about this. I can't wait.
There's got to be a series about it. Yeah, like a 9-part series on the cheese murders of the late 40s and early 50s.
People with a nice Parmesan spread on their face.
Tune in for our new show, The Cheese Murders of mid 20th century Wisconsin. That will be putting out soon.
We should make up a podcast, put it out,
amazing.
and then be like, you're never going to hear about this. They're covering it up.
It's a big cover up. Do it like it's
you don't even find it online.
How they put out Blair Witch and shit in the 90s. Like, it's real. It's real. And just create make a bunch of websites and social media pages about it and shit. Pretend it's real. People
holy shit.
Funny thing is, Colby cheese is no longer made in the town of Colby.
Where's it at now?
Who the fuck knows? There's a factory east of town that cuts and packages it, but it's not made there. The former Colby cheese factory is now a dilapidated building.
Hilarious.
So it's not even cheese anymore.
Enjoy your Colby.
Have fun, everybody. So I found a couple reviews of the town. They're different than each other. And one, they love this place. And the other one, they have a very, very distinct beef, which is always the best thing.
I can't believe you made that up.
I don't know. It sounded like it was real, right?
Convincing as shit.
It could have been.
Could have happened.
It could have happened. That's what I mean.
We don't know it didn't.
We've heard crazier shit in our town histories of people fighting over town records and 100 people dying over paperwork. What the fuck are we talking about? That sounded quaint. It was over business. Sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to make you run for the Google there. Run for the old Googling. As fucking
you somehow
my grandmother would say.
Made a story about cheese. Not cheesy at all. That was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
That's what happens when you're stoned at 3 a.m. By the way, this edible should be kicking in any minute now, so we're going to have a lot of fun. So anyway, 5 stars, this first review. 5. Okay. 5 stars. Quote, a small, quaint little rural feeling town. That sounds like small town murder. Yeah. Everyone knows everybody here. That sounds like a nightmare. Yeah. You're surrounded by farmland, but have lots of good amenities only 4 minutes down the road. They fucking timed it before they did the review. Right. They had a little clock up. 4 minutes? 4 minutes. I'm marking it. Okay. I'll save it for the review.
Okay.
4 minutes down the road. It's a wonderful place to raise kids, too. The school isn't really good, however. Then how the fuck is it a wonderful place? Okay.
Why would you want to raise kids there with a shit school?
What factors are good for raising kids? Okay, number one, is it dangerous for them to go outside? Are they going to get hit by a stray bullet?
I think that's it.
Okay, that's one. And then two, how are the schools?
They don't care.
Only things that really matter. And they're like, great place. Schools suck, though.
Right.
Okay.
Your kid's going to be dumb as shit.
And job opportunities aren't that great here either. Well, this is sounding better and better. What are you talking about?
Can't work in the school.
5 stars. Right. 5 stars. 2 things to improve on. But the rest, if you prefer small town living and Midwestern values, you've come to the right place. Oh, boy. And then this one here, 0 stars.
Yeah.
Went the complete opposite, and he's a one-issue voter here. Yeah. Quote, Colby, Wisconsin water is, all capital letters, not of good quality. Okay.
Not dangerous?
Don't write a congressman or something. Put this on a site that shows town statistics. Review it there. That makes sense. We'll help you. Yeah. Quote, I've lived in Colby, Wisconsin for 3 years, and one of the first things I noticed was the poor quality of the water. It tastes disgusting. It is beyond hard water quality, in quotes, and it causes our skin to become super ashy and dry. It has also damaged our hair tremendously. Wow. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Quote, maybe our home just has hard water issues, right? Wrong, all capital letters. It appears to have the same effect all through the tiny city of Colby. 0 stars.
I've taken a poll and everybody's hair is demolished.
I went door to door. That's from Kay from Colby.
Poor Kay.
And it has 118 people agree and 156 disagree. So the water quality is up in the air in Colby, really. It's up in the air.
You could buy a softener.
Yeah, that maybe
could fix your issues, Kay.
I have a water softener because Arizona's got terrible
the worst water.
It's fucking hard. It's in not natural.
No.
You shouldn't have water here.
No.
So anything they bring in, they're like, it's terrible and poisonous and smells like Cincinnati. So run it through something.
Because it probably came here from Cincinnati.
Yeah, who knows?
And it's picked up shit along the way.
Jesus.
And that's why it's so fucking hard.
That's what it is. So people in this town here, 1900, they had 667 people. And then by 2000, or by now, let's just do now. Right now, there are 2,000 people even.
Really?
Yeah, so nobody come or go. You're good.
Keep it there.
Just keep it cool right now. Oh, nope, somebody just had a heart attack from too much cheese. Never mind, fuck it. 1,999 people. It's up 30% since 1990. So people are coming here. Why? Yeah. Beats the shit out of me.
They think there's cheese there.
I think they're like, let's go where the cheese is, man.
They get there and like, what the fuck?
Ain't no cheese here. Like, well, we cut and package it here. Right. I don't give a shit about no cutting and packaging. I didn't ask about that, did I?
That's crazy. So they make it somewhere else and then truck it here just to cut and package it.
Say it's Colby cheese.
Right.
Pow.
Why don't you do it from wherever the fuck you do it?
I don't do that. Male-female populations are pretty normal with averages here. There's a shitload. The median age is about a year younger than normal. It's 36 and a half here. Yeah. Tons of kids here, a lot of 0 to 9-year-olds, like double the amount. And then there's triple the amount of 85 and over people.
Really?
So just elderly and children.
And dipshits that have bad schools.
That have bad schools. Right. So those kids are in for a bad time with their terrible schools. But the old people, they're doing fine as long as they don't drink the water. So married population and all that shit, it's about normal. I mean, nothing here is too far out of skew, except for there's less single with no children people here. Yeah. That's about it. Everything else is on par. Now, race of this town, 76% white, and the rest of the town is retired Green Bay Packers. And Glenn Robinson also came here. I don't know. No, 76% white, 0.0% black, actually.
Zero.
Wow. No black people anywhere in Canada. 2,000 people in Colby.
That's interesting.
It's just the whole town is just white, and there's, speckles of yellow with the cheese mixed in. Also, white people holding blocks of cheese. So that's what it is. 0.7% Asian, so not a lot of Asian people here either. 21.4% Hispanic. Though,
fascinating.
So it's just white people and Hispanic people, nobody else.
Yeah.
Very weird. We don't think we've ever had that before in a town. 58.2% of the people here are religious. So there's a little more religion here than normal, but it's kind of a family kind of, and it's where you get it's mainly people with kids and all that.
Midwest values, James.
Yeah, there you go. 27.6% Catholic.
How about that?
They beat the Lutherans by over 10%. Catholics are the Baptists of cheese country, I suppose.
Baptists of the Lakes.
Oh, it's because of the Hispanic people.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah.
Why did that happen? And then 16% Lutheran, obviously. 0.0% Jewish. Not into Colby cheese, apparently. Not kosher.
No.
The Colby's not kosher, everybody. That's what we found out today. And 0.0% Islam as well. Politics suspended through the rest of 2020. You don't need to know. Look it up if you want. I don't need to hear shit because someone stuffed with cheese in Wisconsin that I've never met voted a certain way. I don't care. So, unemployment rate here.
How is that even... Whatever.
You have no idea.
It's crazy.
Did they blame you ever for it? Or just
from
me
time to
for
time,
delivering the information?
I'll get a message that is like, why do you guys do that? And it's like, what are you talking about?
We're just saying a statistic.
It doesn't even open a can of worms for anything. It literally tells you what happened. We don't further discuss
anything. We're just giving that's how many people did that.
They're rarely mad. It's just it's a lot of questions. And I'm like, I'm not prepared to answer these for you.
It helps to tell what people are like there, I guess.
Do I get to ask you shit that doesn't matter too? Is that what this is?
Hey, when you're at work, I saw you file that one report.
Yeah.
Now, couldn't you do that a different way? I mean, you could email it. You don't have to hand it physically to them. They'll take it on a PDF, right?
It's all a filing. You're fucking offending me.
We do appreciate the passion, though, and that's what's important here. So unemployment rate in this town is about normal, but like we said, we don't know what the hell that's going to look like once the stats come out for the whole year. Median household income here is a little bit low. Normally almost $58,000. Here it is $45,000 even. Okay. It's a little bit low here, and it makes sense. More than 30% of the households here make $30,000 or less.
Really?
So yeah, there's a lower kind of a lower echelon of economic
That's brutal,
people
man.
Here in the structure. And manufacturing is 33% of the jobs, which is more than 3 times the average.
That's not good.
Those are precarious.
Yeah.
Those are good jobs when they're there, but if they go, then that's at the third of the town's, they might work at 2 factories or something. And then
shut down the Colby factory.
That's it. All the jobs are either manufacturing, slicing the cheese, basically, cutting and packaging the cheese, retail, which is selling the cheese.
This is the least money. And
in healthcare, which is the aftermath of eating all that cheese. Those are those are the 3 jobs that are here.
Wow.
That's it. Just in the... in furtherance of the cheese industry.
You either care for the cheese or you care for the people that eat it.
That eat too much of it. That's all you got. Now, cost of living in this town is about 77 out of 100. 100 is regular. Housing is the low thing. That's a 47. So housing is super low. Median home cost here, $109,500.
Wow.
Which is extremely low.
Unbelievably affordable.
And we'll see, it really is. About 50% of the houses are valued under $100,000.
What?
So it's a lot. And if you're jonesing for some cheese, we have for you the Colby, Wisconsin Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $700, which is kind of in line with the way the houses are.
Well, why the fuck would you?
That's the thing. I found a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,160 square foot little house. Yeah. Nice little house, though. $87,900.
Yeah.
So that's a good little starter house. You just get married or something. It's a good place to go. I found a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,680 square foot house.
Great.
So you can sell that one once you have a couple of kids and move up to this one. There's a big workshop out back, like a garage/workshop thing. I think everyone in Wisconsin probably has.
Yeah,
have somewhere to
put the car
and hang your hunting things. I assume your carcasses in there. $127,900 for that. So
with a detached garage,
and a big workshop.
That's awesome.
It's a very good value. Then I found a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath. 1,260 square feet.
Yeah,
not great, but on 160 acres.
Oh, sweet Christ!
Just of forest. So, you can just make as much cheese as you want out there. You could start your own Avery family out there, just to start putting junk cars in the backyard, and you can. You're the Averys now.
Nobody will hear you scream.
$650,000 for
awesome.
that. It's a lot of land, so I could see that. Things to do. I'm like, what do they have? Cheese days?
Right.
Colby cheese days. That's their most popular thing. Originated in 1965 as an event to promote cheese and Colby cheese, which is the backbone of the economy.
I am shocked that there is a campaign to there is not one person that hates cheese, right?
I would think
there
not.
Can't be.
Even people like cheese hurts me, and I eat the shit out of it. I don't care.
Even lactose intolerant people are jamming that shit in them.
It's good.
It's amazing.
Your body wants it.
It changes everything.
It's so good. Vegans don't like it that much. They like it, but they won't eat it.
Right.
So
they only do it for whatever reason. But it's still delicious to them.
It's good to everybody. Yeah. They know. You know out there. So the events include the ATV pull.
All right.
That's some hillbilly shit right
I'll
there.
Watch. That sounds awesome.
Someone's going to wipe out and hurt themselves and get run over by someone else's ATV, so that could be fun. The Main Street Parade, of course. Street dances. The tractor pull, once you've warmed up with the ATV pull. Amusement Midway, a bunch of, games and blow up the clown's head with the water shit, and plenty of free Colby cheese. It says that, I swear to God.
Street dances in a town that's 80% white people. No, thank you.
White people eating cheese,
right?
So they're just farting as they're grooving and farting and not being all out of rhythm and shit.
That is the worst street dancing ever.
Along with down home cooking and refreshments. There's no down home there. It's a weekend of entertainment and fun for the whole family. The events are register for Colby Cheese Days race.
Yeah.
And they have a race and then another race and some book shit. 3-on-3 basketball registration begins.
With all those white people.
A bunch of heavy-set white people with very sweaty T-shirts on that when they post up on you don't want to put your forearm on them. Like,
still doing shirts
those
and
gym guys. Come on, man.
Dude,
it's better than with the guys with no shirts and having their back hair coated in sweat that you have to get on you. Then there's a race, and there's a bench pressing contest, which is in front of the Nicolette Bank. Hey, we're going to go bench press down in front of the bank. You coming? That's the most fucking goober thing I've ever heard. Set up a bench in front of the bank. So there's that's just wow, that's amazing.
Listen, that Nicole that works at the 5 o'clock shift, she's hot as shit. I want to impress her.
I'm going to be getting my pump on. Hold on, let me get some cheese. I need energy. Let me cheese up quick.
Hey, Nicole.
Nikki.
You want some
Nikki. Nikki. I got nachos over here. Let me tell you what the meat is. So, what else do they have? Pedal tractor pull. That's in front of the bank, too. I guess you pedal things like a bank. The Colby dunk tank opens, and then the Colby talent competition from Central Wisconsin's Got Talent.
Okay.
I doubt it, but okay.
Not much.
Then there's a weigh-in antique. Classic tractor show, and then live music with the Dweebs, a variety rock band with a little comedy thrown in.
Oh no!
Shoot me in the fucking head.
Play the song or don't play the song, Weird Al. Who are you?
If you're not Weird Al, don't.
Stop it
and shut up. They are from Somerset, Wisconsin, and a family band. Oh Jesus! They perform in crazy costumes and like to call themselves the American Party Band. Hope to see you there. I would rather cut my own fucking throat with a dull steak knife. Repeatedly.
Who the fuck?
No.
How did you get 4 friends to do this with you, you asshole?
Family. They're related. They have to. It's blood. That's the problem. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, and just a lot of cheese theft. Property crime is about 25% below the national average, so it's pretty safe. Now, murder or violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crimes, is less than half the national average.
Super safe.
Under half the national average. It's a safe little... Everybody has just got a cheese. How much? You can't eat a pound of cheese and then go wilding out in the streets and murdering people. And I'm going to go fuck shit up. No, you're not. You're full of cheese. Sit down.
Your blood is slowing.
You get up and go, oh, Jesus, never mind. Hold on. I might have to poop soon. Actually, or never again. I'm not sure which one. Either immediately or next week.
How wild is that?
I'm not sure what this cheese is going to do to me.
There's no other food that does that.
It's either going to liquefy my insides or
cement it.
I'll be good. I can go like on an Iditarod and not have to shit.
It's going to be like I drank X last or took, I don't know, a handful of Percocet.
One of the two. Either one. So that's what's happening there. That said, that all taken care of. Let's talk about a murder. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Okay, let's do this. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple of people. Yeah. First, of course, set this whole thing up. First of all, we have to go back in time. Great. Our story is going to take place about around 1990, in the late 80s. I don't know what the fuck was going on in like 88, 89, 90, 91, but we've had so many of the craziest murders that we've talked about come from that few-year period.
There was angry people.
I don't know what was happening in this world, but people had like crazy ideas of how to I got an idea.
Right.
And that's when like Jeffrey Dahmer was caught and like... It's just that time period.
That's the happiest time of my life.
I'll figure this out. Yeah, it's just very strange.
No, I guess
that's the happiest time of your life.
I mean, in general, growing up, I remember that
You're happier now, I hope, right?
But I mean, as the happiest time of my childhood was like early 90s. I remember like the coolest things happened.
Yeah, that's true. But you couldn't pay me to relive.
I don't want to do any of that
5 seconds of my childhood.
I don't want to do any of that over again.
People are like, I wish I could go back to high school. Not me. Not even for a fucking minute.
No.
Especially with the knowledge of people like, if I knew what I knew now, I'd go back. No, if I knew what I knew now, I would strangle people in high school. I'd be like, do you know how useless this fucking is? Do you have any idea?
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to use from this, and it's very little. It is very little. You have no idea. I would have dropped out, like I said this before, I would have dropped out in the 8th grade if I knew this was going to be my fucking life, because I don't need... I can read, and that's pretty much all I need at this point.
I mean, I did about as minimal as you can to graduate, so I would never...
Imagine doing that again?
Imagine people that are in like groups and shit in high school. You know what I mean? Like societies or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah, I just looked at them like, and it wasn't like, fuck those people. I was always like, wow, how did they know like when to go sign up and stuff? Like,
how did you know that existed?
I didn't know that existed.
I didn't know until you told me you were a part of it.
That's what I mean. Like, how did you know? That's what I always used to think of things. How did you know to do that? How did you know to sign up for that?
Where did you go?
Look?
Right.
Where did you look?
What day did they talk about this?
Yeah, did I miss
class?
that?
Was I in there?
No, they kept it from me intentionally. They were like, don't tell him about it. He'll show up and fuck it up.
I think the counselors tell kids like, you would be good for this because I know that you're smart.
People like us.
They don't tell me. They don't tell me
people
shit.
like us, they weren't telling anything. They were like, no, school's over at 2:30, and then you go home. That's how it works.
You get the fuck out of here.
That's how it works. And you go home, and then you come back the next day. Go to only the classes you're scheduled for, and then you leave.
These are for kids that we know are going to be lawyers later. Not for you.
They're trying.
Right.
See? You're not.
They're going to matter.
That's what our high school existence was. So anyway, let's talk about some people. Let's talk about a guy first named Dean Allen. Okay, he's not a dean. His name is Dean Allen, which Dean Allen sounds
Two
like
first names.
Yeah, and it sounds like an Animal House. Yeah, he replaced Dean.
Right.
The fuck? Dean Allen's in here now. Shit. Now how are we going to fool him? I hear he's smarter. So he was born October 2nd, 1966. Mr. Allen, and he's a high school dropout. Okay. High school, drops out in like the 10th grade.
Oh.
Though that's,
he figured it out early.
Yeah, he was like, I don't need any of this. And
they didn't tell me about the Honor Society.
That's when I fucking quit.
I already know.
I didn't know about the chess club. You know how to play chess? No. But I would have liked to have known about it. You never know. I could have.
Drama club. I knew that it existed. I didn't know where to go.
I could be a prodigy. You have no idea. No one's ever given me the opportunity to try. You ever think of that too?
Yeah.
If there's any piece of like crazy talent that you just didn't know how to unlock, you might be the greatest clarinet player ever to walk the face of the earth, and you don't know it because you've never picked up a clarinet.
I may have been an amazing actor, and I just I'm not trained because nobody told me where to go.
Well,
but Val Kilmer knew when he was fucking 8. How is that possible?
A natural talent. Right. You don't have much natural aptitude for that. You're fine. No, you're fine. As long as the lines aren't in front of you, if you memorize them, you'd be fine. But you know what I mean? Like some crazy prodigy thing, like at 4, someone played on the piano and they were, holy shit, I can't teach this child anymore. Like
Bobby Fischer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Who knows? I didn't try anything.
Right.
You know, we had Nintendo and it just fucked it all up for us.
Changed the whole game, man. I had shit. That's what it was.
That's the problem. I was bored. And
I had other shit to do.
You know. So anyway, he drops out of high school and he goes to the Job Corps in McKinney, Texas.
Oh boy,
McKinney, Texas Job Corps here in the early 80s.
Oh my,
oh boy, the
biggest fuck ups.
Yeah, have you ever known Job Corps people?
Yep.
I have too.
We talked about it in that Job Corps murder one in Washington or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I've met him.
I had one living in my house for like 10 days.
Jesus Christ.
Kid I worked with was at the Job Corps.
I would never allow it.
Let him stay there. And then I was like, you got to go. I put him on a bus to Las Vegas. I swear to God, I took him to the Greyhound stage. And I was like, I don't know, dude. You got to go.
Not here.
It ain't happening here anymore. Like, I'm not doing it.
I mean, it works for people. I mean, they've done it. I know there's success stories. Otherwise, it wouldn't still exist.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
But the majority of people, and I've seen Job Corps videos on like Twitter and shit. It's just fighting in there.
Oh,
it's just people assaulting
the kids that I knew, that was like basically they could go there or jail. That's why they were there.
Right.
Like they worked at the bar I worked at.
Dangerous people.
Yeah, like we just chose here rather than jail. They were cool. I hung out with them, let one stay at my house, but you know, it was like, fuck, man. This place is crazy.
Yeah.
So while he's there, he meets a young lady because the ladies of Job Corps are a special breed.
They put out.
Since an involuntarily young age. That's the problem. Jimmy's laughing. Obviously, that's not funny, but
no, but it was surprising.
I'm sorry.
And probably more true. And that's the depressing part.
That's that edible there. So anyway, that's what happens. I got to be careful. So he meets this young lady, and she's not had any of those problems that we know. Right. By the way, that was just an aside. So his name is Dean Allen. Her name is Janice Allen.
Well, that works
Same
perfectly.
Fucking spelling and everything.
I'd do some questioning real quick. Where's your mom from? Because mine's from here.
Be like on Reno 911 when there's...
You got an uncle somewhere?
Yeah. What? I've been there. Yeah. Oh, shit. You're my cousin.
Start asking some questions.
Apparently, they are not related at all.
Great.
So, but they have the same... Allen's a common last name, especially Allen. They both spell it. So... They end up getting together, and within a year they get married.
Wow.
He is 16 years old and she is 20 years old.
Oh, well, good for him, first of all.
Yeah, he's psyched. She's got some experience. She's, a teenage young lady in the Job Corps is usually just been, and I don't mean sexual experience, just world experience.
She's seen some shit.
That's what I mean. Yeah. She's done things. She's seen things. So they end up getting together here, and they get married April 28th, 1983.
In Texas.
Down in McKinney, Texas, which is, I guess, near Dallas. Okay. He's 16. She's 20. His mom had to sign the papers for it because he was underage.
Child.
Yeah, because he's 16.
It's rare that it's that way.
That's what I mean.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, if it was the other way around, we'd be like, what jail can we put him in?
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Whereas this, well, good for him.
Isn't that weird?
Because we were 16.
Yeah.
That's why. I was a 16. And I have a teenage son now. Yeah. My son is 13. And when he's 16, I wouldn't be like, oh, my God, you've, assaulted him. If he was 8, it's a different story, obviously. But 16, and it's
16-year-old boy is different than a 16-year-old girl, right?
Yeah,
in terms of like,
I would say,
in terms of like, I don't know,
a 16-year-old boy doesn't even need to be kept in the house. Right. They could be kept like on a dog chain with a bowl outside. As long as they had something to hump every once in a while, they'd be fine. Way different than a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
That's why 16-year-old boys are animals. I've been a 16-year-old boy. We were animals.
Right.
Just a pure.
The other part is that
disgusting.
A girl can do a lot of things to maintain her life and her trajectory forward. What am I trying to say?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'd love to know.
It can be fucked up
I'm
really
crossing
easily
my leg and
just by a dude staying too long. You know what I'm saying? Like whereas
yes, you're right.
And then he can run away and never to be seen again.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more.
And then she's stuck with this child.
There's
you know what I mean?
there's
you
a lot more.
You can fuck a girl's life up a lot easier than
absolutely. Well, they have a physical way of anchoring responsibility to them, like so it's a different thing. A teenage boy has a way different mindset with the world because they can just go, I'm going to spread my seed. Like, oh, that's great. But what about the consequences of the people you're fucking dropping it in, asshole? Yeah. So that's why teenage boys don't think of that shit.
And even if she's mature enough to handle that responsibility in the next 9 months, she still has 9 months that she's got to deal with this
tough.
shit.
Yeah,
and it's tough. A lot of responsibility.
It's hard. And some women do it, and that's amazing. Like, wow.
That's awesome.
When you hear those stories of like somebody's successful and like, yeah, my mom was like a single mom at 16 and raised with like, Jesus Christ, that's a fucking woof.
My mother, I'm blown away that she made it.
Not bad. Yeah, it's impressive shit.
It really is.
So he says, or his mom says, quote, I really didn't want him to get married, but they were living together, and I wanted them to get married if they were living together. Yeah. So that makes sense. He's attracted to her, and it's, easy. Their names are the same, so they get married.
Don't even have to do extra paperwork.
Literally no name changes. That's perfect. Also, Janice has already been married once.
Oh, really?
She is divorced and has a 2-year-old daughter.
Okay.
So she's 20-year-old Job Corps person with a divorce and a 2-year-old at 20 in the Job Corps. So, she's had life experience is the best way to put it. Just general life experience that he just hasn't had.
Yeah.
He dropped out of high school and went to the Job Corps.
That's not a lot of heartbreak.
No, it's just nothing. No. I mean, we don't even know if he's gotten laid before that. Or, we have no idea.
Really the heartbreak that he may or may not have experienced at this point, mostly self-inflicted, it feels like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could have figured it out and stayed in school. I mean, granted, there's some environmental shit that could stop it. But
yeah, definitely.
For the most part.
There's things you can do, but as well, in his situation, there was things because he had his mom was there. He doesn't have like a family life where it's like, oh Jesus, his mom's like a heroin addict and his dad's gone, and that's not his family life. So this was a path he chose, and I think it was more of he wanted to do more of a vocational thing anyway. Okay. So school, he wanted to be a carpenter.
Okay.
That was what he wanted to do. So school,
lose that and learn that.
Yeah, he said, I don't need this.
No.
I'll go to the Job Corps. I'll learn actual skills, and then I'll go get an actual job in the workforce.
Okay.
And also back then too, that was thought of as
that was a thing you could do.
That was the thing you could do, and it was a little easier anyway than now. So there's other people that we're going to talk about. Oh, also they have 2 more children.
Okay, of theirs.
Sort of. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
2 more children, both sons, Dean and Daniel. Okay. So, like we know, if you listen to Crime and Sports, the number one rule is it's not to name your kid after yourself.
The junior thing.
No juniors. No. Bad things happen.
It's certainly a curse.
This is a bad thing here. So let's talk about another fella here. Robert Pogue. Pogue.
Yeah.
Pogue. Okay. You want to see him? I got to show you this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Oh,
now,
Jesus,
describe his hair.
Alan Jackson wishes his hair was this amazing.
It's a helmet.
It is so much hair.
With a big mullet. He's got one of those big brushes in his back pocket, those big, like, squishy brushes where he goes, and it makes the noise as he's going through his hair, and it makes it puffier.
He has the hair of a truck stop waitress. It is amazing.
Yes, now. A truck stop waitress now.
Today, right.
Or like a rock star in 1982.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a fucking... It's a helmet. It looks bulletproof.
Van Halen's
awesome.
impressed.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, even more now. Poor Eddie. So anyway.
He didn't have great hair when he left.
No, he really didn't. Well, I mean, he was 65. What do you want from the guy? This guy, on the other hand, though, a fucking warrior, a follicle warrior. Look at that neck knot line, too. That's a scoop.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a scoop for you, buddy. Yeah. And his sleeves are short. That's a lady's top.
It might be.
Look at the cut of the sleeves. Yeah. Not to make fun, but that's a lady's top.
And where it hangs on the shoulder, it's a bit over there.
It's a lady's
ways.
top.
Yeah.
And
that's a big scoop.
Yeah, it's a big scoop. I mean, that's fine if you want to dress like that. But this is like 1982, and he's got like this big. Yeah. He's in a mustache. He seems like this masculine guy, and he's like, "Hey, I got this in the young Mrs. section." Very strange. So now he comes from his family, used to live in California.
Okay.
Very odd migration of this family. Yeah. Okay. They're trying some little everything in this country.
California to Texas.
They lived in California, then moved to Nacogdoches, Texas? How do you say that?
Oh,
It's
Doches, right? Doches?
Nacogdoches.
That is Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches?
Yeah. Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches?
I don't know.
Nacogdoches. It sounds like a compliment. Like, it's the most Nacogdoches, extra special, happalicious, making up fucking happy words.
Well, I keep thinking Almagordos or Algodones.
Yeah.
Like, there's different ones, but that one is not it.
No,
and then there's also Naco, Arizona.
Yes.
That just doesn't have the Doches at the end.
No Doches.
Right.
What is it? We're sans Doches in this state, but there.
Doches?
Doches.
Nacogdoches.
Nacogdoches. Nacogdoches. It's Nacogdoches. It's the most Nacogdoches town in all of Texas, bro. Get on down here. Woo!
Grow your hair out. Put this scoop on.
Yeah, it'll be like 1991. Like Dan Cortez will be running around the MTV Beach House. It's the most Nacogdoches ever, bro. Woo!
Oh,
tell him, Pauly Shore. It's Nacogdoches,
bro.
It's the Weasel.
Right.
The most come see Son-in-Law in theaters, man. It's the most Nacogdoches movie you're ever going to see. Actually, it was more like Encino Man back then.
It probably was.
But that's fine. So they moved to Texas, where the Pogue, that's the name of his band, where Robert Pogue meets Dean Allen and Janice Allen and all of those people, and we'll find out how they all intertwine and marry, and it's a fucking disaster. So... But during all this, the rest of his family moves to Wisconsin from Texas.
Okay.
So they went from California to Texas to Abbotsford, Wisconsin, which is near Colby.
Okay.
So it's like the next town over.
Just running.
Those are very different places. I can't express to you how different those three places are from each other.
I could see that migration happening today, though, going from like L.A. and being like, I don't like this, I'm going to Texas. And they get there and like, this is far too Texas.
This is Texas.
This is too much Texas.
Where are people not dicks? Where are they not? Wisconsin, they're very nice. Here they're very nice. Okay, good. I'm going to
This is as Texas as I'll take.
It's a little too much Texas. And... By the way, our fans in Texas are fucking great.
They're
the ones
amazing.
that come to see us are really cool, and all of them are like, I'm sorry you have to come here. Every one of them's like, I'm sorry you have to come here to do this. I know it's not good. And then we'll be like, we got pulled over by the cops, all this shit. Fucking Texas hates us. And they're like, we know.
Every one of them smile, and they
hates
go,
us too.
How do you like Texas? Because they know I'm going to hate it.
That's you.
They know I'm going to hate it. They know you're going to loathe it.
They don't even ask me. They're like, he must fucking, oof.
How you doing with this?
Oh,
how much Texas is this for you, Whisman?
Oh, a lot of Texas.
Because we already know how he feels.
You're like, 24 hours is good on Texas. It's like Vegas. It's like... Vegas, it's like that's just a lot of Vegas after a day.
You go to Texas to monitor how Texas is doing, and then you go, this is how it's doing, and I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Like the people used to go check on the Selma marches in the 60s. Let's see what's going on down there. Let's go check on Texas.
Too many fires.
See what's happening. Okay. Yep. Still Texas.
Still happening.
Going. So anyway, they
it's a bizarre state. The way it all lays. I guess I don't know.
It's an interesting place.
It's fascinating.
It's a lot. It's Arizona's kind of a similar-ish place. If you just mix in a drop of California,
it's just very specific in each area. It's not all the same.
No,
you know what I mean?
Texas is bigger than like half of Europe, so it's very different people, and it's huge for fuck's, and there's just desert between it. No way for those.
Joe Rogan's leaving L.A. and going to Texas. I'm like, calm down. He's going to Austin. Yeah, he's not going to Texas.
He's not going to San Antonio.
You're gonna find him in fucking Lubbock.
When he starts walking down the Riverwalk, let us know. Until then, it's Austin, and it's Austin's. We've been there. It's a pretty cool place. I bought edibles in the middle of the street.
That's true.
Literally in the middle of the street from a man who was wearing a hat with weed leaves all over it, like a peacock plume. So
that's not Texas.
That's not really Texas. That's a little different than Texas.
It's not really Amarillo.
Yeah. No, I was like, this is okay. I like it.
Holler when you see Joe Rogan in some ostrich boots. Give me a call.
So when his family moved up to Wisconsin, he stayed behind because he ended up meeting a lady.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. He met a lady named Anne. Now, people say that his most prized thing in the world here toward the late 80s is his 2 pet pit bulls.
Okay.
They're his favorite thing in the world. His sister Felicia says that he and his future wife here, Anne, he and Anne didn't have any children. The pit bulls were like his children. Aww. So that's how it worked there. And so eventually, Jesus Christ, here's how this works. Now, okay. Pogue, Robert Pogue is Dean Allen's best friend.
Yeah.
Okay. He's his best friend for multiple reasons. One, because they're friends, but 2, because, Pogue was Allen's best friend and was married to Allen's Aunt Marilyn.
Okay. So he's his uncle.
So, kind of, but his Aunt Marilyn is only 8 months older than him. So everybody's the same age. This is when you start getting some like hillbilly math with ages and shit, like you get aunts that are younger than fucking nephews.
When your aunt's younger than you, that's weird.
There's some strange gaps in breeding. I don't know what's going on. So Janice Allen, who was Dean's wife there. Okay, that's that. Now, Dean Allen's mother, Judy Allen. Oh, I'm sorry. This is confusing.
Oh, boy.
Janice's mother, Judy Allen, Judy Adams, is her mother. Okay. Janice's mother, Dean's wife's mother, Dean's mother-in-law. Is Adams. Yep. Okay. And whoa, Jesus Christ. Pogue and Dean Allen became friends. And then during the time, Marilyn had a date. Robert Pogue had a date with Marilyn, who was his aunt.
Okay.
So that's how that worked. And then after a while, that didn't work out. So Robert ended up dating Marilyn's youngest sister, Anne.
Oh, boy.
So that's how he became married to Anne. So he married. Robert went out with one of Dean Allen's aunts.
Yep.
Okay. And then when that didn't work out, ended up going out with his youngest aunt, who was actually younger than Dean Allen, if I'm not mistaken.
That is wild.
So that's how this all works. Okay. Do you have your board out? Everybody got your strings connected to?
It's gross.
Okay. It's a lot of family.
The strings spell gross. Is that supposed to do that?
Well, I think. Hold on.
It's a curse of gross. That's what it says.
It spells Nagadocious. That's what it spells. Yeah. All right. It's a Nagadocious good time.
Yeah.
That's what it spells. So, Dean Allen is the son of Judy Adams. So I'm sorry, that wasn't Janice's mom. That's his mom.
Okay.
Judy Adams is Dean Allen's mom. Judy Adams is, Anne Pogue, who was Robert's wife, married to Robert Pogue, who is, Jesus Christ, the sister of Dean's mom. So, yes, he's married to Dean's aunt. She is 9 months older than Dean. Okay. That's how that works. Okay, now. All right. This is fucking insane.
It's too much.
It's a lot. So Pogue is older than Dean, though. He's a few years older than Dean and the aunt. And I think he's more like Janice's age.
Got it.
So, yeah. So anyway, wow. Okay. So the two couples ended up living together in a trailer in Texas, in Nagadocious at one point.
Dean's aunt, Robert Pogue, and his wife all in a trailer.
Yeah, Dean, Janice, married couple, Robert Pogue, his wife Ann, all living in one trailer. Two couples, one trailer, Nagadocious, Texas.
It's a lot of bodies.
Not going to do that shit, Texas.
Nagadocious.
No, Nagadocious. So, wow. One of the friends said Anne had taken, apparently they had problems at one point, and Robert and Anne had kind of split apart. And so Anne took it very hard, and her friends said they thought they'd get back together, and, Anne was thinking they're going to reconcile this relationship. More on that later.
Okay.
A little bit more about Dean. Now, Dean's got some jealousy issues, as we'll talk about.
Because he's a child that's married.
Yes, if you're married when you should be a sophomore, there's a problem there. You know what I mean? Like, you need at least...
Emotionally immature.
Yeah.
It's a thing that they say.
You know what? Maybe that's what high school's good for. To the forcedness of sitting there and listening to something you don't want to hear is the only training for marriage that you can really have. Yeah. So he should do that.
It's preparation for life.
It's preparation for life. That's not just marriage. Marriage is part of life in general. It's preparation for life. Life is sitting there listening to shit you don't want to hear.
Yep.
So that's what you got to do.
You're gonna be taking a bunch of this shit for the rest of your life.
Just sit through it, motherfucker. So the first incident that happened, a 24-year-old man named Stephen Murphy had an affair with Janice. Janice has a shitload of affairs, by the way. Janice, everybody she works with, encounters, she is just all over.
God damn it.
Man, all over Nacogdoches, boy.
And do that. Fine. Live that life.
Go
Just
ahead.
don't be married and put somebody through that.
It's all the time.
Jesus.
He's like, at one point he's in the army and she's cheating on him while he's like doing maneuvers and stuff. I'm like, that sucks. So anyway, but then again, he ends up cheating too. So it's a huge fucking, these two.
It's a thing.
If you get together at 16 and 20 at the Job Corps, I don't know how stable of a marriage you can expect.
Yeah.
And it might be that if you might have a few rocky years while you figure out how to be a, adult couple, and then who knows, maybe when they're 30, everything will be fine, and they'll figure out that they like each other and they don't want anybody else. Or
they want that relationship, and you're okay with it. But it doesn't sound like he does.
No. Stephen Murphy, who's 24, had an affair with Janice Allen, and she ended up moving out and moving in with this guy for a little while in the fall of 1989 in Tyler, Texas. Murphy says that one day he was doing his laundry at her home there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Dean Allen burst into the house wielding a pool cue, threatening to kill him. So he says, "I'll break this pool cue and stab you with it," and all this sorts of shit, and beat you to death. And the guy's like, "Holy Jesus Christ!" So that was one thing. Then there was another time when Janice Allen worked at a Denny's in Tyler, Texas, and had an affair with a guy named Joe Trejo who worked at the Denny's with her. This is some low-level cheating here.
It is.
This is like if you say, "Let's do a quickie while the moons in over my hammy are cooking." That's some low-level shit right there.
Oh, my.
I got to drop off this grand slam, then you can do me in the storage room is not what you want to hear.
How you put together that lumberjack slam, I am just dripping.
Just bend me over the dry goods because I'm ready to roll. It's fucking... No.
Put me over the powdered eggs.
That's it. The powdered eggs and the, I'm sure, giant garbage bag full of hash browns.
Right.
Bend me over it. I'm sure that's how they come at Denny's, right?
Sounds like it.
like one of those leaf bags that people have in the fall back east, just a giant one.
Yeah, it says Toro on the side of it.
It's a big Toro leaf bag full of hash browns. So
that's how they chop them. You put it on the suction side and you just throw the potatoes through it and it shreds
right in the bag. That's how it works. Right in there. It's like a wood chipper. Yeah. We just throw potatoes in there. One after the other. Chucking them. And that's how they come out. Then they feed them to you.
Yeah.
While these two have an affair over them.
Enjoy them.
So Joe and Janice had an affair. Now in December 1989, Trejo here was leaving Janice's apartment early in the morning, obviously.
Yeah.
And he gets into his car thinking everything's all right. And as he gets into his car, he hears a clicking sound. And he sees Dean holding a gun to his head. Dean fucking waited for him outside and then put a gun to his head.
Oh, my God.
Ordered him to move over in the car, got in the car, and drove it. Okay, started driving. While they were driving a little bit, Trejo throws a cup of coffee that he brought out with him in Dean's face and dives out of the car. That's how he gets out of the fucking car while it was traveling 45 miles an hour.
Oh, good Christ.
He threw the coffee, just opened the door and fucking dove, dude. Like, that's splash, dive.
That's a man who recognizes danger.
He's like, okay.
This guy.
Imagine the pump up for that.
Yeah.
Because you can't just throw the coffee and then chicken out on the fucking duck and roll. Because then he's got a gun and his eyes are burning and he's going to shoot you. So he's really going to be pissed now. You fucked my wife and burned my face. So you got to really I got to do this in one motion. Boom, out. I'm out. Fucking roll, man. Wow.
That's a guy that recognizes danger and what he would do if he caught somebody fucking his wife.
Yeah.
This guy's going to kill me.
He is going to dismember me, I feel. I should probably jump out of this car. That's honestly a wild move. That's someone who is surviving right there.
Committed
most people don't have the
rash.
balls.
Yeah,
most people don't have the balls to do that. They're like, I'll try to talk him out of killing me. I'm not going to dive out of a car while it's going 45 miles an hour.
I'll play to his sensitive side.
So then this gets worse. Trejo, once he regained his footing, started running away, and the car screeched to a halt, and he fired 3 shots at him from the fucking car as he ran away. So this guy... And
good for Trejo. He was right.
He was running.
About to die.
He's going to shoot him. Yeah, he's running away. And this will tell you he will never have an affair with anybody else's wife ever again after this. This is the end of it.
He's learned.
Any woman comes up and even smiles at him, he's going to go, "You get the fuck away from me." Like, I was going to ask you if I could take your order. He's like, "I don't care. Just get away from me. I don't want to hear it."
He's looking at left hands for the rest of his life.
Married, are you?
Where's that ring?
So anyway, he fired 3 shots. Then Dean Allen chases after him, and Trejo was like limping because he dove out of a 45-mile-an-hour car.
Right.
He's not in his best running phase right now. So Dean Allen ends up fucking tackling him, catching up with him, wrestling around with him. Eventually, somehow, they... From a wrestling match with a gun and everything else, it turns into Dean calmed the fuck down and chilled out and was like, all right, fine, we'll stop wrestling. I'm not going to kill you. And they drove back together. What the fuck is happening? They drove back together. He warned Trejo that he would kill him if he ever caught him with Janice again. They drove back together, and he's like, you drive me back to my place, and you can take your car and leave, and don't ever fucking be with my wife again, because I'll kill you. And I'm sure Trejo believed him at that point. Said, this motherfucker's serious.
Yeah.
He will kill me. I will not talk to his wife anymore.
And he didn't call the cops on him.
No. He just took it as, I'm lucky I didn't get
He told
killed.
Somebody, and they were like, you fucked his wife, man.
Yeah, you're lucky he didn't kill you.
So happens in Texas.
I think, honestly, someone probably said, you're lucky he didn't kill you. That's, wow, what a nice guy. Yeah. Honestly, in the end of it, it's like, shit. Lucky he didn't kill you right in the driveway.
Yeah.
He doesn't know this guy. Maybe he could have said, I saw a man coming out of my home in the early morning. I assumed he just broke into my house and fucking raped or killed my wife. So I fucking shot him in the head.
Yeah.
That's all. He could have said, in Texas, he could have probably got away with that.
Probably.
If he said that. I didn't know that guy.
If it's on his property, I'll bet they
I didn't know the guy. I saw him coming out of my house with a cup of coffee.
Case dismissed.
Killed my whole family and kids and took a cup of coffee? No, I don't think so. So anyway, the Pogues, back to them, back to Robert and Ann, they have some marriage difficulties. And so that causes, at that point, Dean and Janice are living at Fort Hood in Killeen, Texas, because he's in the Army. Now, while Dean is in the Army, they invite the Pogues to move in with them, and that's when they live together there. Now, Robert and Janice, at this point, Robert Pogue and Janice, while everything was going on, they start fucking each other at this point.
Oh, no.
Okay? So they're living in the same house. They start fucking each other. And eventually, Janice ends up moving out on Dean and moving in with Robert.
Oh, no.
Leaving Dean and his aunt in the house together, in the trailer together. This is a disaster.
Robert needs out of this.
This
may have been a blessing in disguise. You can just fucking walk away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is, so Pogue and Janice and Dean Allen, for a while, because when they had problems, first Ann moved out, and then Dean, and then Janice and Robert started fucking, and so that's how that happened. When the three of them lived together there. Okay. So this is a little bit weird, considering when Allen was in. This is a known thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Because this is happening in '89. Back in 1987, Dean was doing on army maneuvers in Germany, and Janice Allen and Robert had an affair then.
Of course.
And she got pregnant.
Oh no!
And Janice's son Daniel was born the next year, and everybody's pretty sure that it's Robert's because fucking dude was overseas.
Yeah.
But everybody just pretends like it's Dean's, including Dean, even though he knows it's not his.
God.
So this is imagine the seething and the bubbling under the surface and the weird vibes and
it's going.
This is a mess that's happening right now. So he said he always treated him as his own son. He just pretended like he was his son, even though he pretty was sure he wasn't his son.
Yeah, the math doesn't work out.
Just doesn't work out.
The cauldron is boiling.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
No, it's not. So, and then also another weird thing, Alan and later on, Alan, Dean, and Robert got in a fight as well in 1990, early 1990, January of 1990. Ann Pogue, Dean's aunt and Robert's wife, if you're following the tree, took Dean to a trailer home outside Nacogdoches where Robert and Janice were living because Dean refused to believe that his wife was having an affair and living with his best friend.
So she had to show him.
She had to show him. She had to go, trust me, he's my husband. I'd rather that wasn't happening either, but I'm taking you there to fucking show you what's going on. So he did, and later Dean went back to the trailer on his own once he dropped his aunt off, cut the phone line to the trailer, kicked in the door, and confronted Robert with a shotgun. This is...
Waved in the 4-4.
Get a divorce, dude.
It was a shotgun?
A shotgun now.
Why
this
would
is
you?
the third man you've had to threaten murder over because they're fucking your wife. At some point, it's your wife.
Right.
At some point, this relationship isn't working and you're with the person who is not going to be faithful to you, and it's not anybody else's fault except for whatever you guys got going on.
Wow.
It ain't his fault. It's not the guy at Denny's fault.
No.
It's not anybody else's
You're
fault.
taking it out on the wrong people.
Wrong person. Yeah, he never blames Janice for any of this, but he threatens. That's how his thing is, don't blame her, but threaten, if I get the guy away from her to not come back, then it's over. But it's like, well, then she's just going to find somebody else, and that's what she always does. So it's kind of rough here. So confronts him with a shotgun. The guy who also lived there with Robert, a guy named Sam Skinner, he owned the trailer. He said that Pogue...
Why's everybody got so many goddamn roommates?
That's what I mean.
Fuck.
He said that this escalated to the point of he's pointing the shotgun at Pogue, and Pogue grabbed the shotgun and they wrestled over it, and the shotgun was shot into the roof of the trailer, blowing holes through the fucking aluminum foil that covers the goddamn thing.
Lifting the thing off the ground.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. It all just fell down. It was just a flat surface, and it was done.
All the walls come apart.
All the walls, yeah, like a cartoon. And they're just standing in there with a shotgun, looking around in their underwear for some reason.
Furniture all over.
Yeah. So, he shot a shot that went through the like upper ceiling and into the wall and shit like that. And no one was injured in this. So when the Skinner guy asked Dean why he damaged the trailer, why'd you fuck up my trailer, dude? Yeah. I own that thing. And Dean said that quote, it's your own fault for letting that guy stay here. That's what you're gonna get. Fuck you. So February of 1990 with.
No cops being called for any of this.
No, none of it. There is no police involvement in any of this. No one calls the cops. There's no police reports.
Fucking incredible.
This is just people confront each other with shotguns.
Yeah.
Blasts happen in the middle of trailer parks, and everybody goes, nah, I'm sure it's fine. And then they flick and keep watching TV. That's what's going on here.
This is not the Texas that Joe Rogan moved to.
This is wild. So... February, that was January 1990. So February 1990, obviously things are out of control here.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So Robert Pogue and Janice Allen pack up the 3 kids, her first daughter and the 2 boys, and move to Colby, Wisconsin together.
Okay.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
We're getting out of here. New start. Yeah. New life. His family lives up there. We're getting out of here. Okay. Getting away from this whole mess. Okay. So they moved all the way there. Pogue's mother and stepfather lived in Abbotsford, like we said. They had moved up there. Right. And Robert and Janice move up to Wisconsin. They stay with Robert's family for a little while, like a month or so, not even 2 weeks. They stay there. And then they end up renting a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 kids, which I don't know. Great. Terrific. 3 kids, 2 pit bulls, 1 bedroom.
That's not, math doesn't work.
5 people, 2 dogs, 1 bedroom?
No.
Sorry. That's not good enough math. I'm sorry.
Whoever rented them that should have been like, no. I can't do it.
You can have 1 child and 1 dog. Those are the rules. Otherwise, no more than that.
Whatever money you give me in security deposit, you know that's not coming back. You know that. You already know that.
Between your dogs and your kids, you're fucked in a tiny apartment. It's at 304 and a half Division Street.
Okay.
So if you have a half address, you have 3 kids is too many for a half.
Right.
For any address, that's a half, and 2 dogs. Now, Robert's a butcher by trade. Okay. Very, very good with knives.
You can make a lot of money.
He knows how to take things apart.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. Okay. With knives, especially, mammals and things like that. Yeah. Knows how to carve them up.
Bones and such.
Where there's joints, how they come apart. Yeah. That sort of shit. So he works in the meat department of Century Foods in Abbotsford. And Janice works briefly at the Colby Cafe, and then later gets a job at the same place he works, Century Foods. Okay. So Janice has a 9-year-old daughter, enrolls her in Colby Elementary School. Yeah. They're going to be Wisconsinites.
Shit education.
And so they start packing on a couple of pounds, you know. So he's a meat cutter. He likes his hobbies, Robert. He has some hobbies. He enjoys, he likes some loud music.
Yeah.
He's one of,
tell by the hair.
Some Speedwagon on, brother. You know what I mean? He's like, his dream is to be like in Billy Madison when Adam Sandler pulls up with the T-top Firebird and the like REO Speedwagon blaring at. I think it was REO Speedwagon.
No, it was Stroke Me. So it was. What the fuck is his name? God damn it!
I'm sorry.
Billy Squire.
Billy Squire. There you go.
Yeah.
Like that's
but
this
he's
guy's
wearing an REO
like
Speedwagon shirt.
He'd be like, man, that's some kind of lifestyle right now, brother. Brother, I'll tell you what. If I had that,
that sounds great.
Yep, he was real into like hot rod racing. He liked going to the hot rod races and shit like that, which that's fun. Yeah, you'd have hung out with this guy.
I could get down with this.
So yeah, he seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
So or fun anyway.
Brings steak too,
and he's going to bring meat.
Yeah,
and he said that he told his sister he planned to they were going to try to buy a house in the area. That's why they were renting an apartment for a while. They're going to try to find something.
Yeah.
So anyway, he wants to be closer to his family. Makes sense. So once they move there, she gets, like I said, the kids in school and everything like that. While this is going on, though, in February of 1990, right after they got there, they just move into the apartment, Janice starts writing letters to Dean and calling him on the phone, asking him to come to Wisconsin and bring them back to Texas because she doesn't like it there anymore. She hates it. Robert told his mom, also at one point, this is a quote from his mom, quote, he told me she didn't like it there. She was unhappy and bored. I started to cry and I said, Robert, I don't want to lose you again, because she was thinking he was going to go move up there.
Right.
And this is when he just got back from the Army. I'm sorry. So she thought, you're going to move away from me. You just moved to Wisconsin. Now you're going to move away.
Right.
So back to Texas again. So
she is indecisive.
She
knows nothing of what she wants.
Yeah, she's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
So as to be married to as a spouse. So what has Dean been up to? He's been working for L.M. McNeely, which is a company and a man as well, as a carpenter in Nacogdoches. And his hobbies. Let's get into his hobbies a little. He likes hunting and fishing and playing pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that guy.
He's a barf
hunting, fishing, playing pool. Oh, yeah. He's a good carpenter. Yep. Carpenter specialty is cabinets. Mm-hmm. He's a very good cabinet builder, which there's good money in that. If you build custom cabinets, there is fucking dough in that shit.
Absolutely.
So he works for a company that does that.
Especially today, because houses, people buy them to flip them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all they're doing is just jamming new cabinets.
Every 10 years, you need new cabinets.
Yeah.
First it's this, and it's that.
Right.
Then, these aren't white cabinets.
Right.
What the fuck? These are garbage. Then. Ridiculous.
And you walk into anybody's house and you can see those prefab oak ones.
Yeah.
And these were
the apartment complex ones. Yeah.
Garbage particle board on the front.
Those suck. Yeah, those suck. So that's most of every fucking cabinet I've ever had. Let's redo these cabinets. Oh, wait, no, they're particle board.
There's
you
no
can't redo these.
These just come out.
If you sand them and they just disintegrate, that's not how this works.
These come out and go back in. New ones.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
So his mom said at this point, right now, in February of 90, he was planning on building her an entertainment center for her TV and VCR. That tells you what's going on here.
Yeah.
So Dean is working, like we said, for Leonard McNeely Sr. That's the guy who owns the company. And he also, at this point, talks to a police detective, a Nacogdoches police detective, Clifford Lightfoot. He runs into him somewhere and he's talking to him about it. And I think he asks him for advice, like legal advice, as far as like, how do I get my kids back? Seems to be the conversation. I want my kids.
Yeah.
My wife's in Wisconsin. What do I do, basically?
Shouldn't have been allowed to leave, right?
Yeah, but these are things that you ask a lawyer, not a police detective. Right. So I don't know what the fuck he cares. So
she took off with him. How fast was she going? Because I can
was it over? Is her insurance up to date? How are her tags? Because I can do something about it.
All the lights work?
Well, I don't know. Sorry, she's above the law. So he told this police officer, Lightfoot, this detective, that he was mad because his wife had run off to Wisconsin and he wanted his kids back. So Lightfoot, because he said, I'm going to go get my kids back. Should I do that? And the cop said, no, you shouldn't do that.
God, no.
That's terrible. Right. She's got them right now. So that would be sort of kidnapping, especially if you go across state lines with him and stuff, it gets worse and worse.
Do you have custody legally?
That's what I mean.
That's fucking terrible.
What he did say is, my suggestion is I'd say get a lawyer and have them find out what your rights are and then file something so you have visitation of your kids. That would be my suggestion, as someone who gives half a shit about the law. You can't just barge in with a shotgun and say, I want my kids back. That's not going to go over well.
Start putting holes through the Reynolds wrap.
In legal circles, it's bad. So May of 1990 comes around, all the way up to May. This is still going on. She's been writing him letters. She's been calling him. He's been talking to his boss. He's been asking for random police detectives for advice. Right. This is in Dean's head. So May of 1990, Janice writes and calls her again, tells her, you need to come and get me and the children. We want out of here, okay? So Dean tells his coworker here. Okay. This is a coworker. This is Leonard McNeely Jr. This is the owner's son. As a coworker here, he tells this guy, Dean does, that Janice told him that Robert threatened to kill him and Janice and was going to come to Texas and kill Dean and was verbally abusing the children. That's what he said. He said, Janice told me, he said he's going to come here and kill me, and he's abusing my children, and I don't know what the fuck to do. This is ridiculous, particularly abusing Dean's son, who they call Little Dean, who is not Janice, that's Dean's only actual, Dean's only actual kid in this trio of children, probably.
And probably the one that is going to get the ire if a man doesn't like you and sees your face every day in this child.
True, but we don't even know if this is true. This is what Janice is telling him, and Janice has a tendency to be a bit manipulative when it comes to shit like this and try to get what she wants by playing on a guy like Dean's emotions, especially because she met him when he was young, and she's been able to do that for a long time. So Dean Allen tells McNeely, the owner's son there, that basically it's either me or Robert Pogue at this point, right? Like, clearly, he's going to kill me or I got to kill him. He's coming here. Again, no, I should call the cops maybe. No, it's him or me. That's it. Like, this isn't Deadwood. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What does McNeely say?
Swearingen isn't coming for you with his knife. This is ridiculous. So he said, Jesus Christ. So basically he says, listen, I got a plan. He tells McNeely. He says, Janice helped me make this plan. He said, this is what we're going to do. She sent me a key to their apartment up in Wisconsin. Okay. She mailed it to me. Basically what she's done is she's placed a plastic pad on the mattress as well. Okay. So nothing will get on it. And she sent me a schedule of all of Robert's habits and work schedules. And she says that if I do it, she'll help cut up the body.
Oh, my.
Okay. This is what he's telling a coworker.
Right.
At lunch. Literally, they're like, have a lunchbox open. He's got like a tuna sandwich, and he's like, so anyway, the wife says, if I go up there,
put the plastic down.
She's helped set it up, and if I just murder him, then, she'll help me cut up the body and stuff. So I don't know. Are you going to eat those Cheetos? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So road trip?
Road trip?
Right.
So, yeah, Dean said that, the plan is, this is what I'm going to do. I'll go up there. All I have to do is if I cut the body into 6 to 8 inch pieces, I can cut the torso into 2 pieces and mutilate Robert's head so they'll never know who it is. Beyond recognition, I'll just fuck up his face and take all his teeth out so they'll never know, and then scot-free. He said that at that point, he'll bury the pieces of the body all in different places. And he kept telling McNeely would later say, quote, he kept repeating the words, no body, no crime, no body, no crime. So,
crisscross.
Yeah, crisscross. So this guy taking a bite of his sandwich is like,
no body. Right.
Dad, I think we need a new guy on cabinets because this dude's fucking crazy.
The cabinets are unhinged and so's he.
Yeah, so everything here. This is wild shit. So McNeely, the coworker, said, I didn't believe Dean would ever do anything like that. At the time, I thought he was letting off a little steam and talking big. Some guy took his wife and kids, and he's going to talk shit. I'll cut his body up into pieces.
There's a difference between talking big and no body, no crime.
I've heard people say, I'm going to kill that son of a bitch, blah, 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 but they don't say, like, we put a plastic pad down. I have his work schedule, a key to the house. What I'll do is I'll cut his torso into 2 pieces, the rest of things into 6 to 8 inch chunks, separate them out, scatter them all over the county in different spots, and then no body, no crime. That's way different than, I want to kill that son of a bitch. I fucking hate him.
Every step, no body, no crime. I'm going to cut him up, no body, no crime.
No crime.
About 6-8 inch pieces, no body, no crime.
And he's like,
mutilate his face, no body, no crime.
No body, no crime. It's all good.
That's the worst Bob Marley song ever.
No body, no crime. Hey, hey. Robert, you won't fuck my wife. No body, no crime. Hey, hey, oh, oh.
I made the cabinets, y'all, in Texas. No body, no crime.
No body, no crime. Hey, hey. Oh, oh, oh.
I'm a carpenter and knocker don't chase.
I'm a carpenter, I'll cut him up. Oh, I'll use my saw.
No body, no crime. I do it for the children.
Mr. McNeely, don't shed no tears.
Don't call no cops. Because nobody, no crime.
This is great. This is fun. Okay.
That's a bad song.
That's a bad song for this. I love singing Bob Marley adjacent songs while I have fucking tons of edible pumping through me. That's wonderful. So no body, no crime.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he said, well, how are you going to cut him up?
Yeah.
And Dean said, just like to see how serious he is. Dean goes, well, I'll use a fucking machete.
Yeah.
I'll use a machete to dismember him, clearly. And McNeely said, man, you can't cut a dude up with a machete. There'll be too much blood, man. There'll be blood everywhere. So he was just like fucking around with him, thinking it's like, man, what are you talking? You can't do that. Like poking holes in it. Like maybe he'd go, yeah, you're right. But instead he's like, okay, better weapon. Better. You're right. You're right.
You got
Thank
points.
you. Yeah, you got points here. So, he said he has the key. This is what McNeely said, quote, he said, I talked to Janice and she said she put a rubber pad on the mattress. And then he said, you know what's really neat?
Yeah.
The carpet is red, so the blood won't even show.
What?
Isn't that neat?
No.
That's neato peachy keen right there.
This guy doesn't know the blood changes colors when it dries.
Neat. It's not like it would, it would still show up.
Right.
On it's blood.
Right.
There's going to be like matter in it too.
Is it blood red carpeting?
It's perfectly blood red. It's matched to dried blood. It's wild. It's amazing.
What the fuck?
So Dean Allen's coworkers at that point started calling him Rambo as a joke. What's up, Rambo? How's it going there? They started calling him Rambo after the shotgun incident.
Yeah.
Because it was like, what's up there, Rambo?
Right.
And he got a shotgun wrestled and shot through a trailer.
And the first blood.
Yeah, and now they're fucking, he's saying all this stuff, so they're just like, dude, this is silly. He's telling everybody, I'm going to kill that son of a bitch. He tells Leonard McNeely Sr., Senior's the one who nicknamed him Rambo after the shotgun incident.
The boss and owner.
Yeah.
Jesus. No wonder he's fucking nuts. Nobody's calming him down,
no,
including the guy in
charge. They're making fun of him.
Right.
It's a construction site.
Oh,
no matter what happens, they're going to make fun of you on a construction site.
Right.
That's everybody should be forced to work for like 3 months at a blue-collar job because they'd have a much better sense of humor about themselves. They wouldn't care if people break their balls.
Right.
That's why, like, when we break balls, we laugh because that's what you do.
Right.
We've done that shit before. In a construction site, if you're that guy, what's up, Rambo? He could have killed 20 people and they'd be like, what's up, Ted Bundy?
Right.
Like, they just make fun of him however they could. They don't care. This in the homicide book, they talk about some guy killed a dude he worked with on the construction site, like, and stole a bunch of shit from him. And everybody on the site, this guy would carry a gun around on the site, talk about how many people he killed, and everyone just made fun of him for it. He's literally waving guns around all the time. They're like, yeah, look at fucking Clint Eastwood over here, and they all laugh at him and shit.
Loose cannon.
And that's why he killed the guy.
Unbelievable.
Was because he made fun of him once too many times, so he shot him on the way home. Wow. So this is a thing that happens in this environment.
It will humble you right up and make you realize how fucking hard this world is.
Yeah, and everybody sucks.
The world doesn't give a fuck about your feelings.
No, you're not special. I'm not special.
No.
Nobody's special. That's what it tells you. We're all in this shit together when you work a shit job. Right. So we're all going to make fun of each other. No one is any better.
We're all worthless together.
That's
Hang in there.
So,
it gets worse.
That's it. No shit. So The McNeely, though, he says, quote, he was always kind of gung-ho. Rambo wasn't degrading in any way. He said, I wasn't trying to degrade him. We were just breaking balls, which is pretty degrading. He described him, though, Dean, as a hard worker who just talked about how much he missed his wife and children after they moved to Wisconsin so much. And so that's all he talked about. Then he got into how to get them back. Yeah. Now, a friend of his, who's also a distant cousin, of course. Yeah. Surprised she's not married to somebody in this mess, Susan Whitaker. She said that Dean was depressed because his family was gone, and he also told her he was going to kill Robert Pogue. He told anyone that would listen. Mm-hmm. And even the cop, he was like, should I just go there and get him?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, shit.
And I would be surprised that no cops were called about that.
Yeah.
Except he fired gunshots at somebody.
It's still
no cops came.
No cops. She didn't believe him, the cousin here. She said, because I've never known him to be that way. Mm-hmm. She said that he was definitely obsessed with his wife, though. She says, anyone that knows Dean knows he's a quiet, unassuming person, not a dominant personality. Janice was outgoing and he worshipped her. He would do anything for her. Yeah. So as you see, you can kind of tell who these people are in this relationship. She's the mouthpiece of the relationship.
Vivacious mouthpiece.
Yeah, and he kind of does what he's told.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just because he's younger. It's just kind of the way some relationships are like that. So
it's the role you take on.
That's what it is. Now, another woman, Patricia Cooper, she met Dean at his aunt's house here, and he ends up having an affair with her. Dean, while all this is going on, he's so mad he's going to kill Robert Pogue and all this shit. He also bangs his aunt's friend through April of 1990 for like a 2-week period.
All right.
Okay, sure. She broke the relationship off. Yeah. Why? Because all he ever talked about was how he was going to kill Robert Pogue and get his wife back.
It wasn't that it was weird that you were banging your friend's nephew? That wasn't on?
Not at all.
It was that all he talked about was killing people.
Like after sex, he'd be like, man, that was good. I'm going to go kill that motherfucker in Wisconsin and get my wife and kids back.
You know, that was amazing, that blowjob. You know what? I'll bet Pogue just got a blowjob, too. I should
bet
kill
it was
him.
better. That Janice is something else, I'll tell you what. So she said, quote, he told me he was going to chop this guy up with a machete, and the only way he would take his wife back is if she helped him by sending a key to the apartment. He never showed no anger. He just talked about killing the guy. He was obsessed about it. I told him he was crazy. Fair enough. Now back to Janice. Through this time, in beginning of May 1990, Janice tells the Colby Elementary School that her daughter was moving back to Texas when her last day of school was May 11th, and she was moving back to Texas. She also, and at this point, Dean Allen asked Leonard McNeely Sr. for some time off from work so he could travel to Wisconsin to pick up his family. So Dean, this guy was like, great, that'll shut him the fuck up about it anyway. Right. Terrific. He left Texas on May 25th to head up to Wisconsin in a car he's driving. Janice Allen gives 1 day's notice on May 25th to Century Foods owner Lawrence Acklelarry. Said she has babysitting problems and can't work there anymore because she has no more child care.
Okay.
Meanwhile, it's the same day he's leaving to come up there.
She didn't say she's moving.
No, she said, I got to quit because I don't have child care anymore. So
got it.
Oh, okay. So Dean Allen arrives up there, arrives in the area in a town called Medford on May 28th. Janice registers at the Rudolph Motel. The Rudolph Motel.
Yeah.
The motel owner, Alan Mokry, he tells everybody later on that they were kissing, quote, like a couple of lovebirds, Janice and Dean were.
Okay.
And they have the kids with them, too. When they apparently they went to the hotel, went to the room with the kids. They left the hotel for about a half hour and brought back a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Mm-hmm. And the owner there confronted them about leaving the kids alone in the room because they're young kids.
Yeah.
And he told them if they had been gone any longer, he was about to call the police on them because they were leaving their kids behind.
Why are you watching my room so carefully, sir?
Yeah, I guess so.
Weird. I've paid my nightly fee.
How many people do you think are staying at the Rudolph Motel on a fucking Thursday night? They're the only ones there. What are they doing?
Right.
I don't see no kids there.
Right.
Shit.
They took kids in.
Is that a bucket of kids? What is that? Oh, that's chicken. Never mind. You never know up here.
Yeah.
So they checked out of the hotel at 7:30 p.m. They got out of there. Apparently they were uncomfortable with that.
Deal with this guy's shit.
Yeah, so they checked into room 29 at at the Welcome Inn Motel.
Okay.
Welcome, INN, obviously, motel. So they got inn and motel in the same thing in Medford, where Janice Allen, she used a Tyler, Texas address for the registration and requested no maid service for the room at all. And while they were at the Welcome Inn, she and Dean they wanted to confront Robert to scare him so he wouldn't come back to Texas to try to get her back. Okay, we're going to scare him. That's what they said they talked about, okay? They said Wednesday, May 30th, it's Robert's day off. That'll be the good day to do it, okay? So May 30th comes around.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that means that was a Monday night that they were staying there. The guy was just bored probably. Yeah. So May 30th here, Wednesday. Okay, now what ends up happening is they are Robert is at the house with Janice, okay? The kids are being watched by somebody else, okay? Now, Dean bursts in the door, okay? Confronts Robert, okay? Now, what ends up happening is there's a struggle here. Now, there's conflicting cases, but what Robert says is probably true based on the medical examiner's thing here. Basically, there's a wrestling match between them. Robert has a knife. Okay, that's what's said. That's what Dean says. Robert has a knife, which he's a butcher and he has a shitload of knives, so that kind of makes sense.
But that means he's sitting in his favorite chair with a knife nearby.
Apparently, he popped up out of the chair. Okay, he's got a knife. There's a struggle for the knife, and apparently at one point, Robert has Dean pinned up against the wall and he's choking him. So Janice...
This isn't going the way Dean planned.
Not the way Dean planned. So Janice claims that she came up and stabbed Robert in the back with a machete. Okay. That's what she says. That's her thing. But the medical examiner and Robert have different interpretation of it. He says eventually here he got the gun away from. Or he got the knife away from Robert and stabbed him in the stomach. That's what ended up happening here. Now, he says later on, I didn't want to shoot Robert. I didn't even want to hurt him. He says later on it'll come out that he had a gun. That's his original story that we'll talk about. But later on he had a gun. And he'll say that he wasn't even armed, Robert. He came in with a gun. He said that he had a shotgun. And we'll find out a shotgun with a machete duct taped to the end of it.
Like Rambo.
Duct taped to the end of it. Except I think there was an actual mount for his knife.
I think it was a bayonet.
I think it was a bayonet mount. I don't think he just duct taped a machete.
This trailer park bayonet is crazy.
This is trailer park Rambo happening right now. This is panhandle Rambo.
Swiss Army knife duct taped to your Mossberg ain't exactly Rambo.
Absolute panhandle Rambo. We've had panhandle samurai. This is panhandle Rambo.
This is pretty incredible.
So, he says that this is what Dean says, that it didn't take but a flash until Robert had me on my back on the floor and he was choking me. He said he was choking him on the floor. He said, but all at once Robert let go. Like, what the fuck, dude? Are we going to keep doing this?
Right.
So Dean says, I was trying to catch my breath and I heard a high-pitched squeal and then I heard a clanking sound. My immediate reaction was I didn't know what to do. I picked up the gun that he had to shoot at Robert because he didn't know what was going on, and then Robert just fell over. He said when he fell over, he just made this high-pitched sound 4 or 5 times. Okay, and then he was making a gasping noise.
Yeah.
And he says that at that point, he just died. He didn't move. He just laid there.
Really?
Yes. He said that at that point, Dean said he went and found Janice, who was hiding in a closet at the time, and told her that Robert was dead. And they discussed calling the police, he said. They said, should we call the cops and just be like, make up a story, try to claim some kind of self-defense or some shit? And they said, no, we won't, because then they would have taken both of us in at least for something, and what are the kids going to do? It's easier just to dispose of him.
Oh, boy.
Much easier. So basically, he said that Robert tried to pull the knife out. Basically, what ended up happening while they were wrestling, the knife got in Robert's abdomen. Good, deep and good, and sliced some arteries, and, made him bleed really bad. Now, he said that he didn't know what was going on until he looked up and saw I think he stabbed him and knew exactly what was going on. But he said Robert was just trying to grab the knife and pull it out of himself, like he was in shock, I guess. And he said that Robert was cut his hands on the knife trying to get it out and was fucking struggling with the thing.
God damn it.
He said Robert let out a high-pitched noise or scream, which sounded like a wounded rabbit. Oh, by the way, you know who he told that to?
Who?
His boss, because he went back to fucking work in Texas. We'll talk about it eventually, and told everybody what he did.
Holy shit.
That's not all. He's told him that he also said that the day he dies, he'll always believe Robert was still alive when they cut him up.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And let's talk about it.
What?
He said that once he fell over, what should we do? Should we go ahead with the plan?
Yeah.
And they said, fuck it, let's go ahead with the plan. He used Robert's own butcher knives to dismember him.
Horrible.
Cut his head off.
Wow.
And held it up by the hair as like, look what I did. Okay. Then he, oh my goodness, he cut him open.
Yeah.
Ripped his heart out of his chest with his bare hand and held it up to see what it was all about. Like, I don't know if he saw Indiana Jones one too many times or Temple of Doom was stuck in his mind. He seems like a Temple of Doom guy.
Yeah, he does.
He held it in his hands and remarked that he didn't know a human heart was that small. Thought it was bigger. Okay. Then we'll get to... That's not the worst part. Then he said the only time he was afraid was when he was sawing through the bones, and he was worried that it was so loud someone might hear him and complain because it was late at night, like he was sawing wood. He said after finishing, though, he said when they were done, he was telling everybody that the butcher knives after that were so dull you couldn't even cut butter with them because, you know, he used them to hack up a person.
Wow.
What else did what else did he do? Well, he sliced open his nutsack and ripped his balls out and had them for a while. Mm-hmm. And then he turned him over and started slashing at his ass, too, and was considering how to get his balls in his ass, basically. How do I do this? And was stabbing him and cutting him and all this shit and decided not to do that. Just decided to cut him up completely and keep the balls separate, and we'll talk about that. Yeah.
He's so mad at this guy.
This is crazy. Yeah. Okay. So then he got all the parts. Mm-hmm. She loaded the garbage bags full of parts and bloody sheets and towels into the car. That was her job, I guess. And then they went out into the woods, and we'll talk about exactly what happened, but they went and buried these different there was 4 different garbage bags that we'll talk about. Then she rented a steam cleaner to clean the carpet, but that was later on. We'll talk about that. And cut up the bloody mattress, because the rubber pad didn't cut it when you're dismembering an entire human, and threw that away. Okay, now, Janice tells people, because people are like, hey, where's Robert?
Yeah.
You know, because they didn't tell people where they were. She tells several different stories. She tells Robert's sister that Robert left the apartment and she doesn't know where he went. They were fighting a lot, and he just took off. Okay. Also told her, then ended up telling the sister later on that he came home that night and told her to go back to sleep. When she woke up, he was gone, and so were his stereo and his clothes and his VCR. Mm-hmm. So he moved out. He's gone. She said that was the last she had seen of Robert, and that was that. So, so the cousin here came over and helped Janice pack up the apartment. Wow. Because if Robert left, she's going to leave too. She's like, I guess I'll go back to Texas with my kids, and my family's down there.
That's a half address. James, this is behind
the house. This is a half address.
This is crazy.
It was an upstairs.
Oh,
it's an upstairs. So it's, top floor. So, so this cousin comes in the house where they murdered him. There is still blood on the walls everywhere. The fucking person was murdered there. They didn't clean this. These people are idiots. And opened him. Right. But she wouldn't let... She let this cousin help her pack, but Janice wouldn't let her help clean the living room. Janice said the children had spilled red Kool-Aid all over the living room. They got a hold of a thing and they were fighting over it.
They put it in a super soaker. It's
just
everywhere.
Went everywhere when it went up in the air, you know? And also the cousin said, well, where's your mattress? Your mattress is gone.
Yeah.
You don't have a mattress. And Janice said, well, one of the pit bulls tore up the mattress while we were gone one day. So I had to get rid of it because it was just all destroyed.
Yeah.
That's how that went. Now, Robert's mom here, obviously she's looking for her kid. 3 days after the murder, Janice visits Robert's mom and tells her that, look, I'm sorry I have to tell you this, but I have to be honest with you. You're his mother. You have a right to know this. Robert uses a lot of drugs. Uh-huh. He's a bad drug addict. He never wanted to tell you, but he ran off with a couple of people. Uh-huh. Some chick and some guys with his drug friends. They ran off. I don't know where. He said he was leaving and he just wanted to go do drugs and he'll never be back. So I don't know. Hopefully he'll clean up. I don't know what to tell you.
Where's his dogs?
Dogs are still there.
Okay.
Dogs are there. So dogs end up at the mom's house.
Some shit pit bulls if they didn't do anything about this.
I think they were with the kids. I think they were being watched with the kids.
I
think
certainly,
that's what ended up happening.
I bet if I raised my voice to you, Frankie would kick the shit out of me.
Yeah, she'd probably maul you, I would assume. Yeah, and she loves you.
Right.
So anyway, they didn't, the mother didn't believe her.
Yeah.
She said, I don't believe that. I've been talking to Robert all the time. He's not on drugs. Like, I would be able to tell any change. My son hasn't changed at all. He's fine.
And a guy that does that, there's certainly some red flags before that happens.
Yeah, that's
it's rare that a guy has it all together, shows up to his job every day, and is like, you know what? Fucking can't take it anymore.
Huge heroin
Coke
problem.
is so much better.
So much better. So the mother said she doesn't believe her. She said, I don't believe you, and I'm going to call the police.
Okay.
So Janice said, please don't, because I'm going to go to Texas, and I just want my life to start over, and this has been really hard. So the mother said, fine. And the mother says later, quote, I hugged her and I wished her the best of luck. And she said she had to go because her brother was there to pick her up. And sure, Robert's mother lets him go. Janice and Dean move back to Texas together. Like we said, he'll end up bragging to coworkers.
Right.
While they drive back to Texas, they make a plan. Dean said, basically, I'll take the blame and you stay with the kids in case we get caught for this. I'll say I did it and you got the kids, and that's how we'll work this. So they get back in there. They move into a trailer in rural Nacogdoches there. Near the Shawnee River.
Yep.
June 4th, 1990. It's been 5 days. Robert's mother, Shirley, reports to the Colby police that her son is missing, hasn't been seen since he left work on May 29th, and detectives were notified that he was missing and interviewed a bunch of people, including his family and everybody like that. June 7th, sheriff's detectives here in, I believe, in Texas. Oh, no, they flew down to Texas, the Wisconsin ones. Yeah. And they worked with the Nacogdoches police to learn where.
You guys are so Nacogdoches around here.
This place is Nacogdoches, brah. Yeah. Woo.
These are the most Nacogdoches cops I've ever met.
Fucking A, man. Nacogdoches. It's like nacho-docious, man. I love it. So they learn from the police down there where the Allens are living. They find them. We'll talk about it. They keep doing an investigation. Dean Allen's aunt, Margie, told the cops that Dean had bought a shotgun a few weeks before he went to Wisconsin. He asked to borrow an old machete she had as well before he went up there. Dean was living with another guy at the time, was living with his aunt at the time when he left.
Okay.
About a week before he went to Wisconsin, he also borrowed a hacksaw to cut off a gun barrel and a grinder to sharpen the machete.
Wow.
He shortened the fucking barrel and sharpened the machete.
Oh, boy.
A week before. This is like Rambo shit. He's getting his shit prepared and he's soldering things together. Right. This is crazy. Fucking getting his duct tape out. So Janice Allen's mother, Margie, told the police that Dean Allen arrived at the apartment at 4:30 a.m., and this is what she was told through what Janice told her brother, okay? So she goes to the police and said Dean showed up with a shotgun, Pogue pulled a knife on him, and then that's what ended up happening. So there's enough at this point for the police to get a search warrant for the apartment in Wisconsin to Colby, at least see if they can get any evidence in there. What they find is a 4-foot by 5-foot blood stain under the carpet.
Yeah.
She had steamed the carpet, but it goes through under that.
Yeah.
And
you can clean the surface all you want.
Same color doesn't matter.
Right.
That's blood.
Right.
That's the difference. They put that shit on there and they do the test and they go, hey, look at that. Wow, the lucite, whatever the fuck it's called. Look at that.
Luminol.
Also, the light thing is the
Got
luminol.
It. I thought what you were talking about.
Well, they used to do
for the test.
They do the swab.
Got
if there's just a surface and you're seeing if it's what it is, you swab it, and then if it's blood, if it's any kind of
different color.
It turns a different color. If it stays gray, if it's not. They find that. Blood also spattered all over the fucking bathroom walls. Blood and flesh were found on the walls in corners. Flesh was found in the bathtub drain.
Oh, God.
Human flesh and obviously blood and hair and everything else here. June 9th, 1990, they're arrested at about noon in Texas. They're driving down a rural road, and the wife, the kids, everybody's in the car, Janice and Dean, and Jan and Dean. We're going to fucking put out a beach single. He wouldn't speak to investigators. They're driving an 81 Camaro.
Hell yeah,
a blue 81 Camaro.
Fuck yeah, they are.
So, and they find in there, they find the stock and part of a barrel of a shotgun. Oh, and a bow saw. You know, the bow saw, a bow saw with flesh, blood, and hair stuck in the blade.
Oh my God, he cut him up with yard fucking...
Didn't even, like he's sawing a fucking, like a piece of branch off of a tree. That's what that is. If you don't know, like a bow, imagine a bow that you pull back, the saws that look like that with the blade where the fucking thing would be, the string.
And it's super sharp.
Yeah.
They've got super jagged teeth on that.
He didn't even hose it off. He just kept it in the trunk, and it's 10 days it's been. He's been driving around with
terrible.
it. Also found in the car was a work glove. Inside the work glove, guess what's in there,
Nuts.
Jimmy? Nope.
What is it?
A ponytail with a piece of scalp still attached to it.
He scalped him?
He cut his ponytail off of his fucking head and kept it as a souvenir.
With the head still attached.
By the way, not only did he have that and hide it, he showed it to the people at work. He went to work and said, I did it.
Wow.
Look at the ponytail with the scalp on it. I killed the guy. And they were like, okay. Nobody called the cops.
Yeah.
Nobody called the cops. No one said, we should probably tell somebody that he murdered a man and he scalped him and he's got his fucking hair and he did God knows what. We should probably. And they were like, nah, he's a good worker. He shows up on time. It's not real. I don't know what it was, but yeah, that's what it was. Later that night, Janice consented to a search of their trailer where they found a loaded sawed-off shotgun and a sharpened machete on the shelf of the bedroom closet. Also taken as evidence were Robert's stereo, 2 large speakers, and 16 CDs believed to belong to Robert as well.
He stole his fucking music.
Stole his tune. He's got good tunes, man. Hey. You know what, boy? You know, someone's got good tunes. You take them, buddy. You know what I'm saying, buddy? That's just what you do.
That is low.
He got tunes.
I mean, he took his ponytail. That's pretty low.
I said, damn.
The music.
Yeah. What you want? Yeah, Dio. I had to take it, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to get me some of that.
Damn it.
Yeah, the first 2 Metallica albums.
What else did he get? Music and what else?
Stereo.
The whole stereo.
Stereo, 2 large speakers, and 16 CDs.
That's embarrassing.
So we'll take the body parts and grab them CDs, too. Load them on up. Wow. When he's arrested, Janice smiled at the officers politely.
Yeah.
She just acted like nothing was wrong. They said, quote, she seemed rather calm. That surprised me. Under the circumstances, I expected her to be crying.
Surprised you? That should fucking terrify you.
Yeah,
that's a cold-blooded bitch right there.
Oh, that's a sociopath. That's a scary person. They're both scary people. The police department informed Janice of her right not to speak with them, obviously, the right to be silent. And, the one police officer got upset, the one from Wisconsin, because they said, she's not a suspect yet. You just fucking Mirandized her, you idiot.
Yeah.
Because basically you don't have to Mirandize her till she's a suspect, but that's a real gray area.
Yeah.
They're together. I would think that he knows that she's a suspect too. So from the start, she's a suspect. But until they start asking suspect questions, they don't have to Mirandize her.
Okay.
They can get background shit without it, which is still gray area. So anyway, that made the police from Wisconsin upset. Janice said, am I under arrest? And the police in Wisconsin said, no, you're not under arrest. You're not under arrest. And he said, quote, in fact, I said, we're just happy she and the kids were safe. He tried to make it like, no, you're not in this at all.
You were around a fucking crazy man.
He's
Did
crazy.
You know that?
There's a saw and a ponytail back there.
It's got stuffed in a Leatherman.
Yeah. And also, the police officer said the Nacogdoches police treated Janice roughly by raising their voices and yelling at her and calling her a street girl. That's just, I just pictured the Nacogdoches. You're a street girl. You live in Nacogdoches. What do you care? Fuck you.
Anybody that lives here is a street person.
Have you seen this place? So Janice here, what she had been doing since then, she called her friend Pam Bensenma, a friend of hers, on June 3rd, and said Dean had come to Pogue's apartment at 4:30 a.m., got in a fight with him because he wouldn't let Dean take his wife and children back to Texas. Pogue pulled a machete on Dean, but dropped it during the struggle, and then Dean picked up the machete and hit Pogue on the back. So Pogue said, why, and fell backwards, and then the knife drove into him more, like in a movie.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, then it popped out the front. Jesus Christ. While trying to pull the machete out, Pogue sliced his fingers and his hands, and Janice says she hid in a closet while Dean cut up Robert's body, which is pretty close to what happened, except that Dean brought the machete too.
Right.
That's the only difference.
I'm still of the mindset that anybody that owns a machete is up to no good.
Well, there's not a lot.
That's a fucking weird instrument to have.
Unless you live in a like a jungle area where you literally have to cut paths, there's really not a lot of reason to have a machete.
No.
There just isn't.
That's
a weed whacker's way more effective, you know?
They make shit that plugs in that's
way better.
Yeah.
You know, like one of those
the hedge clipper,
hedge trimmers, that go back and
they have the teeth on them. Those
nasty.
things are way easier.
Kick the shit out of a machete.
Instead of fucking swinging a knife, right?
Yeah, this isn't Vietnam, for fuck's sake. What are you doing?
Literally doing it with energy, like throwing an arm forward.
No.
Nothing has to be sharp as shit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So somebody that has that is a dangerous human being.
They're sharpening it constantly. So Janice told Dean's stepfather in November that later on in the year that she was the one who fatally stabbed Robert and all this shit. So she's telling everybody either the right story or that she did it,
right,
which is not the right story. She told another friend of hers that Dean and Robert were fighting. When she tried to break up the fight, she ended up stabbing Robert, and then Robert tried to pull the knife out from the front, and then Dean Allen cut up his body. Then she told somebody that they fought over the gun. Robert, there was a gun there, the shotgun. Robert ended up with a machete in his back. Janice ran from the room. Dean cut up the body, put it in bags, buried it in the area. So that's the general story. She said that she was hysterical. This friend said that Janice was hysterical when she talked to her, and she said something major happened. Dean made her help him bury the bags, or he'd kill her, is what she told her friend. Mm-hmm. She also said she was scared to death, and now she'd be stuck with Dean Allen for the rest of her life, and she didn't love him. She just told him to come back there.
Right, you did this, girl.
There are letters on file of, I made such a mistake. I love you. Please come get me.
Right.
I want to be a family with you. Like they're there. They exist. She definitely told him that, he's being bad to your kids and, I love you and come get me. Like definitely. So finally, she ends up spilling the whole thing. She tells Marathon County Sheriff's detective here. This is Wendell Roddy. He's the one who was investigating, flew down to Texas. He said that she and Pogue had an argument on the 29th when he came home late with hickeys on his neck. He told her to go to sleep, and when she woke up, she gives the story again about the stereo and his clothes and everything was gone. Mm-hmm. Later that day, she changes her story and said Dean came to the apartment at 1:30 a.m. carrying a sawed-off shotgun with a machete attached to it with duct tape. Yeah. So that's how that came in. This is while she and Robert were just sitting on the couch watching television, which is a wild entrance.
Yeah. She looks at her watch and is awaiting him.
Almost 1:30. Dean told Robert to stay where he was, but Robert jumped up toward Dean and grabbed for the gun. Dean tried to fire, but the safety was on.
Oh, Christ.
This is how inept this whole thing is. He's trying, fuck, goddamn safety, and he's wrestling it. This is absolute stupidity. So during a fight over the gun, the machete fell off because,
because it's duct tape.
It's duct taped. It's not the best thing here. She next saw Pogue trying to pull the knife out of his chest, and she hid in the closet. And when she came out, Dean had cut Pogue up and placed body parts in bags. So she was in the closet for hours then.
Yeah,
you know how long it takes to cut somebody up into 4 bags worth of parts?
Yeah.
A fucking long time.
And to remove the ponytail and cut up his nuts.
Cut his nuts and do different things.
Not get him in his ass. And
like Robert could probably have cut Dean up in no time being a butcher. But if you're not a butcher, I don't know if Robert's a hunter though. So he probably knows how to.
Either way, it's going to take so much time.
Yeah, you're not doing. Yeah, it's a lot. Dean told her to triple bag them before she took them out. Make sure to put 2 more bags on the outside there. You know how it goes.
And she worked at the grocery store, so she knew what he meant.
She's like, I got it. So, that's how that ended up going. He was, he was castrated. His ass was slashed and his ponytail was cut off and he was brandished as a trophy. Then what ends up happening is, she and Dean drove to the Rib Lake area, appropriate, because Dean had talked about dumping the body into a lake where fish would possibly eat the body parts. I don't think he knows how marine life works. Not gonna eat the bones, stupid.
Trout, not really hungry for people.
It's not full of piranha. No. It's a lake in mid Wisconsin. There's a crappie in there, for Christ's sake. There's not piranha.
Bluegill really have a taste for human flesh.
They've tasted flesh.
How big do you think the catfish are?
The walleye will have the last word tonight. They've tasted flesh.
Good Lord.
This is a fucking mess.
They are dumb.
They're
very
dumb as fuck. Well,
and also,
they're Job Corps high school dropouts.
I want them to stop saying that those two were fighting over the gun. They were not. They were fighting over you.
That's the thing.
Dumb bitch.
And the gun just happened to be there also, a third character.
The third character happened to be very metaphorical in this situation. You should have seen that gun as yourself and been like, what am I doing? I'm as dangerous as that. I'm going to get both of these fucking men killed.
This is true. The perfect metaphor for this whole relationship is a sawed-off shotgun, a sloppily sawed-off shotgun with a machete quickly fucking duct tape to it. That's the perfect metaphor for this entire relationship of everything that's happening right now.
It is a very dangerous weapon that's going to kill everybody.
So they drove to the lake, but they couldn't find a place where they could dump it. There was no suitable place. So she threw Robert's wallet in a garbage can at a fast food restaurant, just in the can there, and cut up his ID as well, Robert's driver's license. And she said she didn't help. She tells the cop she didn't help Dean bury the bags. She stayed in the car to blow the horn in case anybody came along. She was playing fucking lookout.
Right.
She saw Dean take a big bag into the woods with a shovel that she purchased at Kmart, and he was gone for about 25 minutes. When he returned, she said she was scared and asked him to drive her back to the motel. After returning to the motel, he left again, was gone for about 2.5 hours, got back and said he took care of everything.
Perfect crime.
Perfect crime. Perfect crime. No body, no crime. He buried him in the cranberry bogs.
Wow.
So, she says later on to police that she saw Pogue's ponytail in Dean's car trunk. She said she knew it was his because she would braid his hair after he took showers, and she had made the braid. That's how she knew it was his hair.
Unbelievable.
And so, she'd put a rubber band on each end and all that shit. So now Dean's boss is like, oh, yeah, the motherfucker told us everything.
Yeah.
The cops talk to him. They go, he pulled out a goddamn ponytail out of a work glove.
Right.
Started waving that shit around the job site. And he also had Robert's belt buckle with him.
Oh.
He kept that as a trophy, too, and showed it to people to prove that he did it. And in Texas, they're like, all right, that's fine. All right.
All right.
All right.
There he is.
There he is. And also, also another coworker and a legendary NFL wide receiver, Jerry Rice. His name is Jerry Rice. He's like, nope, not that one.
Unbelievable.
This is in 91 to the peak of Jerry Rice's career. He's an
This fucking guy's like this. He's ruining my life.
He's ruining it, man. This would be a mistaken identity if Jerry Rice was a criminal.
A white guy in Texas.
Yeah, it was an electrician.
Right, showing his ID to get beer, and they're like, sure, bud. Where's your real ID?
All right, then. Okay, sure, buddy. So where's Joe Montana? Is he coming too? He coming with you? So Ronnie Lott going to be here?
Telling me you know Marcus Allen?
Brent Jones coming bringing up the rear? What are we doing here? Tom Rathman going to come wandering in? I could do this all night. So
where's Seifert?
Where's George Seifert going to come? Dana Stubblefield going to come wandering in here?
I'm clairvoyant. Where's Frank Gore?
Where he at? Let's do that. Goddamn Colin Kaepernick kneeling all over the place. I don't like your team.
Fuck your Niners.
Fuck your Niners. So he tells the cops, oh, yeah, he showed me the ponytail, pulled it out of a work glove from his car trunk. He just kept it in there in case anyone wanted to see it. He said it was cut from the head. He said that he didn't notice any change in Alan's personality. He said, quote, I never really noticed anything odd, just that he said he'd done what he had to do, and he got his wife and kids and family back. That was it.
No change in his demeanor.
Nope.
Not even smiling.
Just did it.
Just back to normal.
Yep. So after his arraignment on June 11th here, he's charged, obviously, with first-degree intentional murder up in Wisconsin. They're going to extradite him there.
Yep.
All sorts of motions. They want to throw out, he wants his confession thrown out.
Of course he does.
Because they asked him, well, why'd you cut up the body? And he said, I had to cut up the body. It was daylight. How the hell else was I supposed to get him out of there? I can't just carry a guy out in the middle of daylight. It was fucking daylight. I had to cut him up to get him out of the goddamn place.
Yeah.
Duh, morons. So he wanted that thrown out and that sort of shit. So Dean's mom, she comes out in the paper and says, he's not a killer. She said, quote, Dean's never been in trouble. Dean is not a cold person. He has a lot of love in his heart, and he loved Robert. They've been friends since they were children.
Even more questions.
That's what I mean. She said that shortly after he was arrested, saying that Janice told him to come prepared because Pogue was going to kill him. That's why he did it. That's what he told his mom. Yeah. Obviously, and he was going to kill their children too. So, I mean, Mom, I had to go. He's going to kill my children or call the cops. So Dean was so scared, she said, that he slept with the light on and only dozed most of the time on the sofa. She said, quote, he wanted so much to have a home with his children and their mother that he was willing to take the risk of more than likely losing his own family, losing his own life and trying to have a family. She said he wasn't raised with his father, and he talks about that often. Before he left, we talked about the risk of going to another state. When Janice told him to come get her and the kids, Robert's family was from there, and we thought it was out of his territory. What year is this?
Yeah.
This is out of his territory. He's going to legally pick up you're going to legally pick up your wife that you're married to and your children that belong to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about whether it's his territory and his family going to be. Who cares?
Right.
This isn't the 1860s. That fucking Hatfields aren't going to gather. What are we talking about? This is so stupid. So she said, this is great. He was so scared he was going to die that he gave me a song to play at his funeral.
Oh, what is it?
Dean requested the song Life Goes On by his favorite singer, John Cougar Mellencamp. Oh, yeah, life goes on. Long after the thrill killing is gone.
She doesn't even know that's called Jack and Diane.
Oh, yeah, life goes on. Long after you killed and cut off the balls. That's right.
Don't let her out.
Take them balls.
Swing a ponytail and then sing this song.
And pull his heart out smaller than you thought. What the fuck? That's right. What the fuck?
Don't you wish you were 16 and never met that bitch?
Oh, man.
What the fuck, man?
Yep. So.
Unbelievable.
Janice told her that she Jesus Christ, told the mother that she returned to Wisconsin to tell the truth about this slaying. She wanted to do that and all this shit. Now his mom is taking care of the children, including Amanda, Janice's kid from the previous marriage, and the other little, non-Dean kid. She told me that if I kept the children, she was going to be with Dean. She was going to try to help him. Basically, you watch the kids. I'll go try to get Dean out of trouble in the court. I'll take the blame for it. And that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to say I stabbed him because there was a struggle and I didn't know what to do and it was an accident and blah, blah, blah. She said she was the one who killed Robert because Robert was trying to kill my son. Robert was choking Dean and Dean was turning black and blue. Then the mother says, this is Dean's mom, I think that she and Dean both have problems. You think? Maybe?
Well done, Mom.
Wow, that's some real assessment there. That's sharp. They both live in a fantasy world. He lives in one more than her. She snows him. He believes everything she tells him and always has. I think she just completely nailed the relationship. Yeah. He's an idiot. He lives in a fantasy world where he wants to believe the shit that she says because he's an idiot. Yeah. And she knows she can manipulate him. So it's a very... she also blames Janice for the slaying, though. She does say, though, that her daughter-in-law was a good mother to her grandchildren. She doesn't hate her. Okay. She, in her own way, loves her children and probably in her own way loves Dean, but I think that her mind is deranged. Yeah. That's what she said there.
This is crazy, too, because a lot of times when a parent kills the other parent, it effectively wipes out the both parents.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
One's in jail and one's gone.
These kids had three parents, and this just took them all three away. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're all going... They're both fucking jerks, and they both need to go to jail, obviously.
Obviously. It's a mess. And then his mom said, quote, he says this, Dean says, through my mother, we tried to let the family know how sorry we are that this happened, and we prayed for them all the time. Robert's mother has told my mother she prays for Dean all the time. That's his sister talking. The Pogue family also believes strongly that if it wasn't for Janice, this wouldn't have happened. Yeah. You know what they still haven't done yet, though?
What's that?
Found Robert. They haven't found him.
They've got nothing of him?
They have nothing. Finally, September 15th, 1990, Dean agrees to assist investigators in finding him. Okay. He leads authorities to a site about 12 miles southwest of Babcock along Highway 173. First, they don't find anything. He had a difficult time remembering exactly. Sure. The woods all look the same, so it's tough. On the second day of searching, though, they found the first burial site along a logging road about 200 yards from the highway in some cranberry bogs. Dean told the detectives he dug away from the trees where there was no roots, and he had camouflaged the sites with dirt and leaves. Using a stick to probe the ground, they found the first bag of body parts. The police officer said, I dug until I got to a little piece of garbage bag, and Dean became visibly shaken and said, see, I told you I wasn't lying. They believed you, dude. Don't worry. That's why they were out there. So they brought the crime lab people to recover the parts. Second burial site was 300 feet from the first there. 2 days later, they drove around the area before finding the third site. And Allen was insistent that he didn't bury any remains in the area, but the cop decided to look in an area that looked suspicious, and he did find it. He found dug down, and he thought was perhaps a small animal, but it wasn't. It was more shit. I could see an identification of where a backbone would be.
God damn it.
It's more people, not shit body parts. I took a little water on the shovel and threw it on it and could tell it was skin. This is only 10 days later.
Yeah.
And it's in the woods underground, so it's going to preserve it a little bit in the cool. So it was Pogue's lower torso. A garbage bag was found underneath a rotten stump near the site. So then they found a fourth burial site. You know what they never recovered?
His head?
No, they got his head. They never recovered his heart, his lungs, or his balls.
What?
No, he kept his balls, dude.
Yeah, he did.
He kept them.
Yeah.
Because everything else they found, it was in bags. It was preserved. I mean, they wouldn't have
put
just
him somewhere on
It didn't just rot away. He kept his heart.
Yeah.
He kept his lungs, and he kept his balls. Along with the ponytail.
For a reason.
I don't know if he finally said, okay, this is too much evidence to have. Like, hair is one thing, but an actual human heart is probably
stuff was thrown out in Texas somewhere.
It's not like along some highway in Missouri or something when they were driving.
I'll bet it was on his way to work.
Who knows? That's what I mean. He might have shit. Who knows?
Wow.
So one of the sites they found with the body parts, a tattoo of Anne was found on an arm, which matched Pogue's tattoo. That's how they knew it was him.
That'll do it.
Once they found the additional grave sites, they performed tests, and they figured out it was definitely Robert. Wow. Because in court, they'll try to say, maybe that wasn't even Robert.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, there's a tattoo. It's his tattoo. It's definitely him. Then they got DNA later on. Investigators resumed the search, though. They ended up finding more body parts. So 4 bags of body parts were found. I'm sorry. His head was also gone.
It was not found.
Head, heart, lungs, testicles, hands.
Yep.
That's what's missing.
He did it very specific.
Very specifically. Yeah. Those are the things that were never, ever found.
Symbolic and meaningful to him to destroy them.
Absolutely.
Wow.
To destroy them or to keep them.
Yeah.
Either one.
And to stop the identification with the head
hands.
And the hands.
And the hands. But this is fucking crazy, man. The fucked up part is earlier, 2 weeks after this, because this is in September. This happened in May 30th that they find the parts. So 2 weeks after the murder, they had found, somebody found a bag containing 2 blankets, 2 pillows, a bed sheet, towel, socks, and jeans with blood all over them in the woods, and turned it into police, and they just didn't know what the fuck it was. They were like, oh boy.
Now we know.
We're going to have a crime attached to that one of these days. That doesn't look good at all. And Glenn Maynier, who is Robert Pogue's stepfather, found the mattress on the side of the road that Janice discarded on June 8th. He knew it was that mattress because he recognized it as the same one he gave to them.
Wow.
By the pattern on it. He knew it was their mattress. It was cut up. Chunks of it had been cut away where blood was, probably, I would assume. It's. They said that if it wasn't for Dean Allen, they would have never found the spots that they buried things. They said it was very unlikely they would have ever found that. Wow. No one, maybe by accident someday. So, Dean, what do you do at this point?
Admit, cop a plea.
Well, you do a newspaper interview.
Oh, get out.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to talk?
Hell yeah, he wants to talk.
Oh, boy.
Wait till you hear him in court. He says, people can't understand what I did, but you're not in those circumstances. You're not in control. You're not thinking rationally. The wrong thing that I did, the dismemberment, I did it because I was scared. That was the wrong thing.
No.
Yeah. He says he's a mild-mannered, polite carpenter. He knows few people in Wisconsin. He doesn't want anybody to think he's a bad guy, though. He's literally worried about what people in Wisconsin think of him as a human being. He's like, I don't want them to think I'm a bad guy. They do. Don't worry.
In Wisconsin.
Yeah. The reporter was allowed to be in the room alone with him in the jail. Like the cop said, you comfortable with this? And they were like, they looked at him and thought, like, he's not a guy. He's 5'7".
I didn't fuck his wife.
Yeah.
He's not mad at me.
He's 5'7". He's not a big imposing guy, Dean. Right. So like, in a jail setting without a shotgun with a machete taped to it, you're not real scared of this guy. He's not one of those people. So he said, quote, I'm not a bad person. I'm not the terrible person people have made me out to be. They want to make me like I'm a snarling, drooling, mean criminal. I did it because I love my wife and my family. It's a tragedy. No one knows the nights I've cried myself to sleep in that jail cell.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Oh, yeah, life goes on. John Cougar Mellencamp, he's a... starts singing just in court. That would be amazing. Just singing "Life Goes On."
That guy picked Cougar as like a name. So that we don't confuse you with the other John Mellencamp?
John Mellencamp.
I've never met a person on earth named
because
Mellencamp.
Mellencamp isn't cool. Johnny Cougar, when he first came out, sounds like, hey, you like the cool rock guy, Johnny Cougar. And then he's like, that sounds cheesy.
Right.
I'll use Mellencamp.
John Cougar Mellencamp. Then he dropped the Cougar because it means old lady that loves to fuck.
Yeah. He's like, I can't have that.
I can't do this anymore.
He said that the police did not pressure him to reveal the burial sites. Mm-hmm. He said, I even took to the police to the body knowing what they would find. People told me I was a fool, but I believe it was the right thing to do. I wanted Robert's family to be able to bury Robert.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, boy.
January 1991, Janice, she's still free as a bird, by the way.
What?
Not in charge with anything. She moves with her children into a rented apartment at 1231 Kickbush Street in Colby there. Or in Wausau? How do you say that?
Texas?
No, Wisconsin. Wausau.
Wausau.
She obtained part-time work at a Fisker's. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is. It sounds like they finger cats there, doesn't it? Now, what you're going to do is there's a quota, so you're going to need to finger at least 60, 70 cats per day. Why do we do this again? Don't ask no questions. I just need them cats fingered, all right? Now 8 hours of cat fingering. I just need you to do that. No, I don't need y'all your what are you, a reporter? You say you work for the state? What are you talking about?
Just finger the cat, would you?
Finger the damn cats, all right? So
she lives on Kickbush Street.
Kickbush.
She needs a good kick in the bush.
She could fucking use it. So finally, March 1991, she is finally charged on March 20th with party to crimes of first-degree intentional homicide, theft from a corpse, transmitting false information regarding a missing person, also charged with forgery for cashing Robert's last paycheck after he was dead.
Really?
Fucking asshole.
So dirty.
So dirty. That's just doing him dirty.
She is
it's like,
the lowest.
I have his ponytail, if that'll help. So fucking wrong, man. So Dean in court, he gets a change of venue. It'll be a 7-man, 5-woman jury. You want this jury, if you're the prosecution, you want it to be mostly men. If I'm me, this guy cut this dude's balls out.
Right.
You want that to be like, this is fucked up, right? Because every guy's gonna be like, damn, that's fucking over the top, bro.
Also, under the guise of getting your wife back and she cheated on you, like the sympathy would be
like, would you go to that extreme?
Right.
And they'll be like, I don't think so. No. So pre-trial evidence hearings, the judge decides that the search of the car was legal because he was trying to get the bow saw thrown out and all the ponytail. They were like, fuck no. They arrested you for suspicion of murder and searched your car. That is straight up. It's a search and seizure. It's beautiful. Also, they determined that 2 letters sent from Janice Allen to her husband dated 2 weeks earlier could be connected to the homicide before the murder there. So they put that in there as well. And he decided that the motions that the jury will not be allowed, though, to view photos of Pogue's body parts after they were dug up. The photos may be entered as evidence if the medical examiners testify in the trial, only to reiterate his testimony, but you can't just be like, look how horrible it is. He's fucking, look at it. It's a goddamn leg. Isn't that crazy? So the photo
in Wisconsin would be blown away with that.
The photo showed that this is pre-Dahmer, man. Yeah. This happened the year before Dahmer.
Right.
So this is like, whew. The photo showed that Robert was castrated and his heart and lungs were removed. Just imagine these photos. Whew. His head, hands, and testicles were never found, like we said. And they said that the judge said it's inescapable that these photos would arouse the jury's horror and provoked their instinct to prejudice. So he did not allow those unless the medical examiner is also there testifying. Dean ends up testifying a little in his pre-trial thing, just saying that because he was saying that basically he's trying to get his confession thrown out, so he's got to testify about that. Janice does not testify in this because Dean asks her not to.
Really?
Yeah, so stay out of this one. June 1991, the trial begins for Dean. Now, this is a 15-day trial, including 3 days for jury selection, 9 days of testimony, and there's 34 witnesses for both prosecution and defense, and there's 101 pieces of evidence, including a machete, a sawed-off shotgun, a bow saw, 2 butcher knives owned by Robert Pogue, Pogue's ponytail and glove the ponytail was kept in, 3 posters found hanging in Janice Allen's jail cell, which read, "Jan and Dean together forever, true love can be deadly."
My God.
So she's making posters about how they're Bonnie and Clyde.
She's an idiot.
Post office box keys, letters sent between Janice and Dean Allen while in jail, by the way. They're exchanging letters, and also when they were out, showing where charts showing where Robert was stabbed and dismembered, photos of a cut-up mattress where he was dismembered, photos taken during an autopsy of his remains. Those were not shown to the jury. So, medical investigator. Yeah. Medical investigator in this trial.
And a cranberry tree.
And a cranberry tree and a John Cougar Mellencamp CD. And a John Cougar Mellencamp CD. Pum, pum. So the medical examiner testifies, they said, quote, "Could he have been alive when they started to dismember him?" And he said, yes, absolutely could have, by the way the blood was. And they said, was he? And he said, no way to tell, but definitely could have been. So, yeah, while he's still alive.
Gross.
This is horrible. Couldn't even have the fucking decency to kill the guy first. Janice had been receiving messages back and forth, like we said. They've been sending letters through their cellmate that was like a porter that gave it to somebody else, and they have a whole thing here. Janice testifies. She testifies, though, that she stabbed Robert. This is like, you testify in your trial that I did it, and I'll testify in your trial that I did. Like, we'll go back and forth, and that way no one will know who did it.
Nobody knows what happened.
Meanwhile, how about we convict everybody?
Right.
How's that? Instead, they take the other route to it. How about fuck all of you? Rather than we don't know, so you all go free. We don't know, so you all go to prison. Sorry, this man's missing testicles. Do you understand what we're dealing with here?
This isn't according to our plan.
Yeah, this is fucked up. She said that the whole story I already told about. She said she went into a bedroom to check on her 3 children. Now the children are in here. Before they weren't. Now all of a sudden the children are here in this testimony, and returned to the living room to see them on the floor. She said, when I came back, Robert had him by the sliding glass doors and was choking him. I thought Dean was already dead. He was making some gurgling noises. Well, then he wouldn't be dead, stupid, because you can't gurgle when you're dead, because that's from breathing.
Right.
So anyway, I had a knife, and I guess you'd make a whatever, last gasp. I had the knife in my hand. I ran over to Robert and stabbed him in the back. Then she went and hid in the closet. Dean came in a few minutes later and said, I think Robert is dead. And I asked if he was sure, and he said yes. So then she says that Robert wasn't such a great guy, you know. Now there's a new thing. Mm-hmm. Now she says when the two couples were living together, remember that in the trailer, Ann and Robert and all that, while Dean was stationed at Fort Hood, while Dean was off in Germany doing maneuvers, Janice said she was babysitting in their apartment complex somewhere else when Robert broke into the apartment she was into, climbed through the window, and raped her
in front of the kids she's babysitting.
The whole thing. Yeah. She said at that point on trial, she said that's when she became pregnant and gave birth to Robert's son in April 1998. She said she didn't tell anyone of the alleged sexual assault.
So she was raped and got pregnant.
That's what she said, even though they were having an affair at that time and lived together.
Yeah.
She said he broke into another house and raped her to try to make Robert dangerous. She's never told. She tells her friends and her family everything, literally murder details.
Yeah.
Never said this at all.
And then you had a baby with him and then moved to another state with him.
Yeah. Instead told the sisters and shit like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm pregnant with his kid because we've been fucking. And so this is not true, basically. I hate to not believe somebody, but there's a pretty good pile of evidence that this is self-serving here.
Also, wouldn't you tell the guy that's coming to kill him that? So that would be a lot more motivation for him to hurt the guy. You know what I mean? If this isn't the first time we've heard it.
She said, basically, he told me he'd tell Ann, his wife, and his family that I wanted it, and they wouldn't believe me.
Okay.
So she said she didn't have another sexual relationship with him until January of 1990 when she entered a voluntary sexual relationship with him, which is super normal.
Yeah.
Shortly after she moved into the trailer, Dean confronted them with a gun. That was fired in the struggle. No one was injured. So that was that. Prosecution closing, okay? This is fucking funny. He just says that he whips out the ponytail. Yeah. He's like, he showed this to coworkers as a trophy.
Oh, my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing more than a trophy, he says. If Dean Allen wanted to kill... this is the defense attorney says, if Dean Allen wanted to kill Robert Pogue when he walked in there with the shotgun, there wouldn't have been a struggle. Well, not if the fucking safety wasn't on.
That's a good point.
At that point. He called Janice and Dean, quote, scared to death kids who overreacted to violence.
Oh, boy.
No. The defense closing here says that the evidence suggests that Allen, distraught that his wife, who he loved, was living with his best friend, acted in self-defense. He drove all the way there to act in self-defense.
It's a long drive.
It's a long drive for self-defense. Dean Allen did not plan to kill Pogue. His only plan when he left Texas was to get his wife and kids. He says that he was obsessed with his wife. His lawyer says maybe she wasn't the right wife, maybe she wasn't a good wife, but he loved her. His love for his children and for his wife is a theme that's going to keep coming back throughout this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it does. June 20th, 1991 is the verdict. Jury deliberates for 5 hours, and not a big shocker, guilty of intentional homicide here, among other things, burglary, gun shit, all that sort of thing. Robert Pogue's mother here said the district attorney said justice was done. It was done on behalf of Robert Pogue's family and friends who knew him not only in Wisconsin, but the state of Texas. Now, Janice ends up having to plea. They give her a plea. She pleads guilty to second-degree intentional homicide there. So her sentencing comes up first. Robert's is delayed. Dean's is delayed to like late 92. It's weird. It's super long. He ends up actually making a federal case out of it. So anyway, during the sentencing, she told Robert's mother made a plea to sentence Janice to the maximum sentence. Please sentence her. She said she begged me not to go to the police, saying Robert had a drug problem and left the area. Then they cut my son all to pieces. I never got my son back. She is not worth getting out of prison. She deserves life. I will accept 27 years because that's one of the things they're talking about, but not anything less. I'd like to hate both of them and see both of them dead, but I just can't do it. I have to forgive them or I can't make heaven because the Bible says to love your enemies and pray for those who despitefully use you.
She just called them her enemies.
That's hey, you know what? If you're going to fucking talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, and that's walking the fucking walk. If you're going to be Christian, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. If you don't like that part, then you can't pick the part you like. If you like a more vengeful God, you're probably Jewish. That's what that is. Not you are Jewish, but you maybe should be.
Right.
Not that that's how Jewish people are, but that's how that Bible, the Old Testament's a little bit different.
It's a little more salty.
If you want to get into all the lovey-dovey stuff, I said that totally wrong. It sounds like I meant Jewish people are mean and follow the old. Not what I meant, but I meant the book you're following is
it's a little more salty.
It's a little saltier. There's a little more revenge in it and shit like that. God was a vengeful God.
He was an angry man.
That's right. So Janice said, this is her plea. I had no intention for Robert to die. I wish that I could change that. His family was very good to me. I am very sorry for what they have been through and what they are going through. The judge also has something to say.
Yeah.
He says this same judge will sentence both of them, and he's a salty one, speaking of salty.
He says, I liked the First Testament better.
He's a salty Colby. He says she doesn't share a common sense of decency and morality. It's her lack of acceptance to that view that adds to the danger. She is not only deceitful, but she is manipulative in the sense that she practices her deceit so convincingly. Mrs. Allen's efforts for months to conceal the heinous, almost unspeakable dismemberment of Robert Pogue provided sufficient reason here for him. Hold on, I don't want to give that away. He said he was struck by her coolness, her utter lack of any emotion whatsoever when she testified in the Dean's trial. It for me became chilling, the judge said. He said that there had been no indication that Robert's dismemberment has excited any kind of horror or outrage or distaste in the defendant. And then he looks at Janice and says, you, ma'am, may certainly fuck off.
Yeah.
25 years in prison, which is the maximum sentence for that, plus an additional 2 years for theft and forgery. 27 years for her. But we'll find out she will become eligible for parole in about 7 years.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Oh, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's rough. 25 that's crazy. So Robert's mom said she didn't like the plea bargain. She's eligible for parole in 1/4 of the sentence for this. She said she should have gotten life. Dean was the scapegoat for her, but I didn't think I could take another trial. It's killing me as it is. I can't sleep. I'm not eating. I only think about what they did. She just said, I don't care. Take whatever deal. I can't take it anymore, which happens to these people, the victims' families sometimes. They're like, I don't care. Just get it over with. Long delay for sentencing. There's some complaints in the newspapers about the cost to house Robert while the sentencing is coming. It costs $38 to $40 a day to cost him. To hold him. The meals are $1.98 each. It's literally what they say.
Sell more Colby.
Yeah, they've paid $25,040 since he's been in prison and for 626 days before he's sentenced. Finally, 1992, Dean is sentenced. The prosecutors asked the judge to set the parole because it's going to be life no matter what, but it's when you're eligible for parole. So they said, please set it at 40 years. Well, the pre-sentencing report the court had done recommended 30 years. And his defense attorney, Dean's defense attorney, said, let's just leave it up to the parole board. What do you say, huh? Let's not make overreaching statements here.
That's a lot of responsibility for you, Judge. I want to try to alleviate that. Let them decide.
So they say, Dean, do you have anything to say for yourself? And you're supposed to give, pretty short, remorseful thing. He speaks. He does, because sometimes they go, no, I don't want to say anything, which is dumb. But he does the opposite. He speaks for 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
He does a headline set.
Oh, and in his statement, he rambled. He recited the Pledge of Allegiance. He's just having a ball. He's wearing fucking he's wearing jail stripes on a dress shirt to a sentencing hearing. I'm going to dress like I'm in jail when I'm not in jail.
Wow, that's him?
That's him.
Wow, he looks like shit.
Yeah, he looks like shit from jail.
Oh, boy.
Recited the Pledge of Allegiance, cited the U.S. Constitution, and referred to animal behavior. Talking about animals doing shit.
The mongoose, it's a little wild. The Pledge Allegiance to the flag, Second Amendment, right to bear arms.
You know how it is. Temperance. You know about temperance, right, Judge?
Did you know the military can't stay in your place?
So, yeah. So he also compares himself to criminals who kill someone in cold blood while holding up a convenience store. I shouldn't get the same sentence as those people. Are garbage. I'm fucking doing this for my kids here.
What is he doing?
So he blamed Robert for taking his wife and his 3 children away from him.
That's not good.
Not good when you're asking for mercy. Said that Janice basically saying that he held my wife against her will, and he was saying that he threatened to kill me. So he said, what I wanted was my wife. He blackmailed my wife for her soul, her body, for her very being, he said. And then he said, Robert Pogue tore my family apart and destroyed our lives because he wanted to, because of selfishness. I contend that my wife and kids were the first victims of this case.
Wow.
This is fucking balls.
Yeah.
Then he goes on to read further from his handwritten statement that he loved Robert Pogue and was sorry for his death and the pain that he caused and all that, but dismembering his corpse was the only way he could get the body out of the apartment. So tough ski shitski, whatever. He said, when I saw him take his last breath, I knew it was a horrible tragedy. I knew the police would never understand what happened. They tend to not understand murder dismemberments. They don't get that. And they're not cool like that, really, a lot of the times. Obviously, this wasn't an enjoyable experience for me either, he said.
Oh.
He actually said that.
What a liar.
Well, you didn't have to do it. And so his mother from the back of the room, Robert's mother, screamed, then why'd you do it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone needed to scream that. So the judge sits back and he says, clears his throat. And he says, quote, the intensity of his rationalizations and defenses leads me to believe that he has no insight into his culpability and certainly has no appreciation whatsoever for his wife's role in this matter. He says that, I don't have the words to describe such an abomination. Frankly, Mr. Allen, he said, and then he said he called him a atrocious barbarity. Yeah. He said that he and his wife committed, which I think about sums it up, atrocious barbarity. He said that, in deciding the parole date, he considered several factors, including gravity of the crime, the need for public safety, and premeditation. And he said, though the Allens testified that Pogue was killed in self-defense, he said, I don't think so. I disagree. He said, why do you cut out Mr. Pogue's heart, hold it up, and contemplate if this is self-defense? Why do you take a knife and slash his buttocks if this is self-defense? Then he says, We'll find out, by the way, what he would have gotten. He says, you, sir, may fuck off.
Yeah.
Life in prison, eligible for parole October 2nd, 2026.
Wow.
His 60th birthday.
Wow.
37 years. He fucking banged him good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, got him good. Then afterwards, to the press, the judge went out and talked to the press on purpose. You don't usually see a judge explain why he sentenced somebody to something.
Yeah.
He wanted to. He wanted Dean to hear this shit. He said that he considered a sooner parole date. He was confident that he was going to impose the parole eligibility at 13 years and 4 months.
That's what
the judge was going to give Dean.
Until Dean opened his mouth.
Until then he said, but after listening to what Mr. Allen had to say, I was convinced that he did present a substantial continuing risk, and the district attorney has argued, and somewhat more of a risk than the pre-sentence report had said. So I gave him 37 years instead.
Wow.
He gave himself an extra 25 years almost because he wouldn't shut the fuck up because he had to be an asshole. That is fucking wild.
He gave him almost a year a minute.
That's what it is, and he deserved it.
Yeah.
Right, should have gave him a year a minute, asshole. So he said that the Robert Pogue's mother said that he's satisfied that he won't get out until the time he's at least 60 years old. And she said that she still has nightmares and wants the rest of her son's body back.
Yeah.
She wants his head in his hands. She didn't mention his balls, but that's understandable. She said, Dean Allen knows how much I loved my son. If he had any remorse, he would have told me where my son was. He didn't have to kill my son. He could have taken his family back to Texas. He did it because of hate. He didn't have to cut him up in little bitty pieces. He didn't have to rip my son's heart out. He didn't have to rip my son's lungs out. So September 1993, very quickly, Dean appeals, saying that his right to a speedy trial was violated because it took them 10 months to sentence him. So he said, I was violated. Right. So 34 years, by the way, it's until the parole that he got. But the appellate court said that Dean Allen offered only speculative allegations of prejudice. There is nothing on the record to support Dean's contention that he suffered anxiety with report to his long sentencing delay. They said, basically, tough shit, asshole. Yeah. Go fuck yourself. You shouldn't have cut up your friend here. So they also tried to say that the mandatory punishment for the conviction was out of whack, basically saying that he should have got sentenced to less, and they went, no, you're good. You're all right.
You earned it.
Nah, perfect. So where is Dean Allen now? Let's see here. Dean Allen is in the Stanley Correctional Institution. He is incarcerated as we speak. His parole eligibility date is 10/2/2025. Mm-hmm. That's when his parole deal is. There we go.
5 years from like last
5 years. By the way, there's Janice.
Oh, my, yeah, she looks like a
Denny's
Waffle House waitress.
Yeah, that's exactly what you'd see her and you go, You think she's going to whip a pen out of her hair and said, what'll it be, hon? You know, waffles are good today.
Yeah.
So she, on the other hand,
here. Grits with that?
You want grits with that? She was released from prison.
Yeah.
It looks like March 15th, 2009. Like as soon as she was allowed to be, she was released from prison. Her current address is in Mineola, Texas.
Okay.
She's somewhere in Mineola, Texas. Who knows?
If you there, run into her, fuck out.
Anybody named Janice, nobody in Texas named Janice you should go out with because she is out of her fucking mind. And she's like 60 years old at the time too. So if you're an older guy, she might look harmless right now. She's not, goddammit. Everybody, that is Colby, Wisconsin. And that's, goddammit, one of the craziest shit cases we've ever had. That's one of the wildest things we've ever had, I think. We say that every week, but it's true. We're topping it.
That case is as disgusting as that cheese.
They are equal.
Yeah.
They are equal. If you like that show, tell us about it. More importantly, tell the world about it.
Yeah.
Get on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. Also, I know there's on the other platforms. If you can review.
Right, do it.
Give us 5 stars. Just say something. I like this show.
Yeah.
That's fine. That helps drive us up the charts. Helps us on the business end. Also, you need to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything crime and sports and small town murder related. Check it out. Listen to Crime and Sports. Also, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie, too, because we're having a ball over there. It's a lot of fun. So if you haven't given it a shot yet, give it a shot. We make fun of bad romantic comedies and bad movies in general. So there's that. Check that out. Get your tickets, though, to the virtual live show, October 29th. It's a Thursday night.
Boy, I can't wait.
Going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do the all-violent felon edition of the prisoner dating game. If you don't know what that is and you fast forward through the front of the show, that is when we present Jimmy with 4 bachelors, 4 bachelorettes, all incarcerated for very violent crimes. None of them are like, oh, you had some weed on them.
These are disgusting.
These are violent people that have done bad things, and I research them to make sure that they're probably guilty, too. They got, convicted with evidence.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mocking someone who's, falsely convicted in there. That's not cool.
That's really tough.
I do some backstory on them, too. And then Jimmy picks somebody without ever seeing them, just on their advertisement there for the prisoner dating site that they put out.
Find out how
from their
good
bio.
I am picking a decent person.
And then at the end, he's going to see not only who he picked, but who he didn't pick. And he's going to find out what they did to end up in prison. And it's a lot of fun. We'll find out, will Jimmy pick the pedophile? Let's find out, everybody.
So far, I'm fucking batting
pretty good
1,000.
at it. Yeah. So that is all at shutupandgivememurder.com. Check that out. Might be different when you can't see the people,
Good
though.
point. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think you could see it in their eyes. So get that at shutupandgivememurder.com.
I can sense attraction to adolescence.
Yeah, you see it in there. Follow us on social media as well. We are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and we're at Small Town Murder on Instagram. So check all of those out. Email is crimeandsports@gmail.com. And if you want to be a Patreon donor and get lots of stuff for it, you are going to get by far your money's worth. Trust me. First of all, we put out a lot of material. So if you want to be nice and help the show out, and then we're going to help you out with lots of stuff. First of all, you're going to get Jimmy mispronouncing your name because you're a producer. So you'll get your name shouted at the end of the show. Then you're going to get bonus episodes.
Yes.
At both shows, we do bonus episodes, and you'll have access to Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder bonus. And the Crime and Sports stuff really doesn't have much to do with sports. It's more just crime shit. So basically, if you listen to either show, you'll like all the bonus stuff.
You'll get it.
So check all of that out. Last Small Town Murder, we did murder houses, how they've been sold and how you buy a murder house and things like that. And in the next one, we have a story of 3 young ladies who wanted to resurrect Jack the Ripper in 1998. So that's a wild story that we're going to find.
You get an impotent man at that point.
It ends up with a man, and there's an axe and a forehead, and it's not great. There's a lot of bad stuff happening and weird shit. That'll be our next Small Town Murder bonus episode next week. So check that out. You can get all of that for only the $5 a month. Gets you everything. And that is patreon.com/crimeandsports. And if you just want to be a fine human being who just wants to have good karma and say that you like us, that's so appreciated as well. Anybody wants to do anything over at PayPal, or you use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. And Jimmy will still mispronounce your name. So that's just if you're a nice person. That said,
and that's also the email. P.S.
Yes, that is the email.
There used to be a man that had a band called Small Town Murder, and he is getting lots of emails from you guys.
That's funny
because you think that's the email.
It's
address.
not the email.
It is not. It is crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Absolutely. With that said, Jimmy, I need something, and I know exactly what it is. It's the names of the people who I love so goddamn much. Hit us up, Jimmy.
Executive producers this week are Chris Cotting. Hang in there, man. Kirk and Shannon Gammon wanted him to know that. Jordan Bennett. And she says, happy Canadian Thanksgiving. I don't know if you know that.
Hey.
I learned that this week. Dylan Banfield, Melissa Turner, Ryan Guest, Nilu Rafsanjani, Brandon Slade, Jessica Leitke, The Caboozle, Margaret Gary, Joy Brown, Matt Skinner, Holly Hounslow, Jennifer Hugo, Austin, Carter, Ann Roth, Daniel Hirsch, Dan Clark, and the memory of Brendan Lee Stumpf. I don't know if you know this, but it is his Angelversary. That's what his mom calls it. I think that's fucking sweet.
Yeah, very sweet.
Very cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cammie J, other producers this week. Cammie J, Alexis Finn, Robert Wood, Thomas Smith, Ashley Vio. Cammie J donated both ways, by the way.
Thank you.
He was going through some health shit, and he wrote me that he was going into Patreon. I was like, seriously, you guys, take care of you before you take care of us. But thank you very, very much.
Especially if you're sick.
Honestly. Ashley Vio, what is this? Tatum Wyam, Dick Minge, Rebecca Rose, Jason Kluga, Fabian Brosens, Molly Apple, Anthony Kendall, Daniel Morgan, Praise D, Brandon, what is this? Benio. He donated both ways. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
We'll figure out how to say your name.
Ann Bolin, Anthony with no last name, Donna with no last name, Cindy Zhang, Capita, what is this? Capita White, fuck off, John Daniel. I don't know why.
All right, well, take that, John
apparently
Daniel.
He's an asshole.
Eat a dick, sir.
Liz Vasquez, Alexa Monty, happy birthday,
Liz.
Monte.
Thanks for the Liz Vasquez. Thanks for the Drakes, by the way.
Also, M&Ms with brownies inside them. Thank you. You're a darling. Tiffany Cronquist, predictively poetic. Chi Kai, Peyton Meadows, happy birthday. John DeLong, Michael Lambert, Bud with no last name. Jolie Cloutier, I think. Steve Hoffman, Alyssa Linnell, James Martyr, Erica Stein, Joe Way, Samuel Devitak, Valerie Peak, Joanne Ahern, Madeline Brott, Brianna Elizabeth Hamp. I think it's Hamp. God damn it. Samantha McKenna, Jason Scott, Katarzyna Niedzolka.
Wow.
I'm getting pretty good at that one.
Yeah.
It's every week, so it's going to give me practice.
That's
Todd Roberts, I know.
Good name.
Megan Engel, Dan Ramsey, Ben McDonough, 4th anniversary with Jamie. Happy anniversary. Haley Nicholas, Deborah Shuttleworth, Christian Bangdahl. That's gross. Dwayne Hughes, Stacy Arthur, Susanna Rodriguez, Rohan B, Crystal Rhodes, Jason McNutt, Matthew Longrine, I think, Andrew Welmer, Selena Schmidtka, Liz Cieslick, John with no last name, Sabrina McGill, Jennifer Edwards, Mandy Knight, Daniel Shadrick, Kayla Worley, Anne-Marie Bryant, Lynn Rockstar Minogue, Tom with no last name, Trina McElroy. Happy birthday to Tavia Hughes, I think. Is it? I don't know. I'm a terrible reader. Greg Workman, Katie Hines, Deborah Waddell, Samantha Hogan, Caitlin Stein, Brooke Kale, Jenna Williams, Mendy Schmidt, Mark Nazari, I think, Nazari. Could be anything. Brian Wolin, Tyler Gwill, Mary Kip Sousley, Maria, Shelby Callahan, Damon Thompson, Sally Pigeon, I think, Kylie Farrer, Jennifer Linden, Janice Hill, Virginia Harness, Deanna Post, Trevor Coons, Bliss Mendoza. Happy birthday, Alyssa Kane. I don't know. # cucumber. I guess that's what she's getting.
All right. Well, hey.
She needs all the cucumbers, I guess. Katie Hennessy, Landon Rock, Ann Gall, Melissa Wheeler, Nick B, Darius N. Soja, Corin Nakanazewski. There's no way that's right.
Nakanazewski.
It's a brutal last name.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like how you bailed on it. And
listen, I'll go halfway with you. I got the Suski part. Alyssa Mitchell, Ben Burke, Andy Coates, Jet Allison, Ashley Harkey. Hake, that's an A. Damn it. Mark Warner, Taylor Deloigne. Allison Horrocks, Nikki Bishop, Lindsay Schroeds, Jenna Crode, Andrew Folks, Christian Dixon. Also gross. What?
A lot of Dixon.
I know. It's a lot.
People.
Lindsay W., Dan Evans, Sarah Lees, Ahmed Musa, Matt Klopfer, Jennings, Sicorso, McCoy. Can't be right. Dave Yamagishi, Alyssa McCoy, George Armstrong, Ryan Gandolfo, Jesus, Sarah Reed, Gillian, Justin Henry, Leonie Turner, what? Chris Broodwall, Amanda Rivers, Anastasia Dela Cruz, Kyle Greitz, God damn it, Ryan Harless.
You guys are going to break Jimmy today. He's just having a tough... Sometimes you flow better than others, and sometimes you can't even get the page turn there. You're having a hard time.
Jennifer Hall, Brad Miller, Fernando Rodriguez, Jeff Lee.
You can do it, Jimmy.
I'm doing my best.
You're doing it.
Campbell,
don't you fucking
Campbell 08, Claire Chad, Stephen Martin, Jordan Bailey, Heather Curry, Brandon Clifton, Carly Farrer, God damn it, Jeff Peed, probably
at some point.
Elizabeth Collodi.
I like Call of Diddy better.
Meredith Briley, Kate Bodian, Sherry Sexton, Gwendolyn with no last name, Sandra Rivera, Justin Hogue, Travis Hoyland, Eric Linen, Michael Myers. Enjoy fucking Thanksgiving.
Halloween is the holiday you're looking for, I believe.
What am I doing? Christine Valdez, Chrissy Gunnels, Joanne Begley, Adrian Jackson, Sarah with no last name, Alicia Parmenter, Alexandra Fox, Michelle Reese, that's Linda Reyes, Genevieve Zyla, Vin Reddy,
Wesley Klinovich. Clinique.
Hey.
Jamie Fretch. Gordy Bunk. God damn it. What? Alina Ogden. Tara with no last name. Karen Howard. David Wallace. Jay Cham. Ichiguro. Ichigo Karasakaki.
You sound like a redneck. Ichigara, who's ya? What's some slanty something? I don't know. They got eyes that are funny and some kind of thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Kirajaki?
Yeah.
I don't know. Dave Brown, Aaron Klein.
Is it Japanese, the name?
I think so.
Okay, it's phonetic then. Just how it looks is how it sounds.
Kurosaki.
That's perfect then. That's going to be just what it is. There's no weird pronunciation.
I don't know if I wrote a J, though. That's the thing.
Well, then I can't. They can't. The name can't jump out of a screen and write itself down for you. It can be easy to pronounce, but not write down. That's
Eric
on you.
Klein, Georgina Perkins, Herbie Carlos, Aaron W, what is this? Fondle Me Balls, and Dick B. Hardigan.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
Gotcha.
Wow, unbelievable.
Brock Ryder, Richie Wilson. Richie, thanks, Richie.
Thank you.
Kayleen, what is this? Gabriel Savannah Martin? Or I think. Or it's Gabrielle. I don't know. Amber Thomas, Rebecca Grigo, Anthony Fusen, Fiona Catherine Malone, Tommy Toshe, that's Brett Roberts. God damn it. Michelle Crotty. There's no fucking way. There's four Z's in this.
That's
scissors.
not gonna work.
What? Scissors?
That's not going to work.
She's the scissors are.
okay,
Haley Irwin, Tamara Nelson, Kathleen Rustad, Curtis Dev, Cynthia Buckley, Damian with no last name, John Gallipo, David H, Julie Fiorentini.
There you go.
Wilf Davis, Casey Roberts, Nathan Foster, Vivian Fernandez, April Kleinfeld, Timothy Jackson III, Jamie Phillips, Diane Walker, Michael Nitschke, Sydney Vittori, Jessica McCollum, Catherine Meyer.
Hey.
Nicole Dainzer.
Found it.
God damn it. Kate Gabriel with no last name. Sarah Forshey, Michaela Robbins Bruce, Olivia with no last name, Morgan McClincy, Jeremy Lazarus, Heather Miller, Jesus. Nope, that's Jesus. God, Lopez. Bryce Ricard. What? That's a K. Jessica Walkowski, Zachary Halverson, Pan Not By. Oh, gotcha. Like sexual. Okay.
Yeah.
Got to make me pronounce that. Charles Gallagher, Rachel Bell, Zach Halverson. I said that. Jenny Patterson, Rakeen, Jesse. What? Jesse Diaz, Joey Jugglugs. Benjamin Jacquard, Chrissy Ross, Kelly Corey, Alicia Gable, AJ Peak, Skyla McGee, Mimi John, Brandon Slade, Jimmy Rogers, Jennifer Fakwa, James Morrow, TJ Severn, Morgan Graham, Zachary Morgan, Katie Murdoch, Kayleen, nope, that's Kaylee Kuklis.
There you go.
Mark Allen, God damn it. Lavender Lane, dishing up clicks. Jessica Gerose. Irene Jones. This is never going to happen.
It's hot.
I know. Zayandra Nipwapukwa Gaddis. Nope.
That's a rough one.
Megan Lamrock, Austin Hanrahan, Cynthia Shira Shraya Indrani, Kara Anderson, Jai Cook, Christina, nope, that's Christine, Ann Matthews, Anne Marie Phillips, Whitney McGuffey, Cade Westbrook, Andrew Hunt, Dana Williams, Kelly Miller, Cindy Jordan, Elizabeth Hornberger, Amber Hatley, Crystal Gillespie, Line Solomonson, Lene, probably, L. Brown, JW22, Kevin McMurray, Gil Murray. God damn it. Jennifer, nope, that's Philip. Philip Mafauforce. Michael Constable, Jen with no last name, London, Virginia, Michaela with no last name, Roop Patel, Andy Gish, Rachel Mace, Nicole Glass, Jen Bruce, Jenny Lee Shank, Ryan Roovers, Claire Holupka, Denise Gwen, Andrew Korsleman, Jane Greaser, Andy Garland, Abby Johnson, Douglas Jones, Andy, nope, that's Travis Langley, James Pell, Jake Holt, Heskey, Keskia Davison, Shannon Ladeau, Shane Wheeler, Julie Ann, Tina, nope, that's Tia L. Fish, Aaron Diaz, Robert Lazuski, Nireli Bailey. Here's the thing. I wish I was an adult and had education.
You're doing great.
Allison Skillman, Derek McLeod, Mikey Giovanni Garcia, Colleen Kovash, Matt Kuehl, Declan. Carrie with no last name, Annalise Dupil. It's French. Don't look at me. Clark Faust, Gregors Brzezinski. What? No, it's not. Brzezinskiewicz. Grace Wilson, Sarah Galt, Jennifer, nope, that's John Cunliffe, Brianna Roscover, Seth James Silvashi, Katie Craven, Jennifer Wilson, Joe Gardner, C.R. Moe, Amy Lasher, Joseph Reynolds, Jen Decimio, Darren Dacey or Pacey. Oh, damn it. Patricia Maddox, Brandon Patterson, and it's also Mila's 16th birthday, so happy birthday. Thank you guys so much. I swear I will never go to school.
Thank you so much, everybody. Can't tell you how much we appreciate. Hope you enjoyed the show this week because we had a ball.
That was too much fun.
It was a lot, man. Jimmy, where could they get a hold of you if they want to tell you good
at
things?
Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter and Instagram. And thank you to, there was a police detective who sent me an email about his form of interrogation that is just as fucking weird. He used to take a weed scale and have people put their hand on it, and then he'd tell them that he can decipher that thing. And they would
sobriety test work, then anything will work. So I don't doubt that at all.
Where can they tell you weird shit?
You can tell me weird shit at Jimmy P is funny, or just copy and paste my name. You know how to do it. You'll find us if you want to find us.
Yeah,
we're out there. So that said, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it each and every week. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.